It's showtime, and
Yes, it is.
And I'm going to give Jonathan the reins this time because we are on a different channel.
Hello and welcome to the Notion Nerds live stream, I suppose. Not podcast. Don't use the same. See, I am a professional live streamer.
A PL, it doesn't work as well. PP.
No, it doesn't.
PP sounds better.
That's quotable.
Gail, good to see you.
Yeah, Gail, good to see you.
Yes.
Yes. Welcome to our new channel where we just spend the whole entire time nerding out about Notion, all the things we love about Notion, all the things we hate about Notion, and we have like a sexy as background. Look at this. It's beautiful. Thank you, Rebecca. Who did it for us. And yeah, we're really excited to start this kind of new channel. As you can tell, Danny has now been demoted to just a measly mere human being, and now I am also important now. That's great. Well, okay, fair enough. Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah. So Gail, good to see you. Yes, it is orange, but then my thing is orange, his thing is orange. It just made sense for it to be orange. Oh wow, you're even. Wow, that is meta. That is like a database in a database.
Mm. Yeah.
That is like a database in a database. Okay.
I just wanted some orange juice. It fell into place way too well.
Exactly. Notion Inception. No, we have Orange Inception or Orangeception.
Well, strictly speaking, I'm wearing my Notion t-shirt as well.
Okay. That is really nerdy. I'm actually going to read Gail's first thing because I saw a question mark in it and I was like, oh, that's a question. Let's go. So contrast to my black. Oh, yes. Who else has been trying to catch up on the Notion Nerd podcast this week? I've been loving the podcast so far. They've been helpful and a whole lot of fun. I'm glad they are a lot of fun. Helpful? Yeah.
Yeah, helpful is debatable.
But they're still useful. I mean, I think. I enjoy listening to them anyway. I like. Is that right? Big-headed listening. I like listening to myself. I do timestamps. I get used to it.
I like listening to myself.
It's because I have such a good sense of humor. Anyway, the topic of the day is kind of a bit of everything. So what I recently did in the Facebook group, and so in the Notion Made Simple Facebook group, on my YouTube channel, and on Twitter, I asked, what features would you like to see in Notion? I have a massive wish list anyway. And Jonathan, do you have a wish list of stuff for Notion, features for Notion?
In my head, I don't really write them out because it seems pointless, because most of the things I wish were in Notion, everybody wishes were in Notion. I kind of just like, I want the things everybody else wants. In particular, the Zapier integration, which we will get onto with a beautiful segue sometime soon.
Well, I think that's probably a good place to start. I think the best place to start is the most obvious things that everyone goes, we need this, we need that. And API is obviously the biggest topic of conversation when it comes to the Notion feature requests. I was trying to bring up another and I saw Nest and I was like, yeah, Notion Nest doesn't work. It said Hornet's Nest and I was like, do you see that in the comments?
Yes, but I still don't understand how you tried to shove that in there. It wasn't very well done at all.
No, I saw it and I was like, no, I can't.
No.
So, Zapier.
Oh.
Well, not Zapier. Notion API combined with Zapier. How do you pronounce it?
I don't know how to pronounce it. I pronounce it my way, and any other way is fine too. I just don't care.
I'm right.
Yeah. I am right. I'm really excited. Just for people who haven't been following me on Twitter, I've been having a huge... Let's face it, everybody here has been following both of us on Twitter. Let's be real.
If you're not, you should be. At
yes.
Danny Hatton, at Biz in Notion with a Z, not
Notion
an
Biz. Get it right.
Oh, of course it is, because I type in Notion and then your face comes up. Yep.
And so I have been having some fun with Notion automations. So this is a duo of French developers. Oh, here he goes. I'm looking forward to this one. Anyway, we'll come to the purest thing in a minute. Danny's going to agree with you. Danny will definitely agree with you. But for me, I think the API is going to be amazing to be able to just instantly add tasks into Notion, being able to take tasks from your inbox, being able to automatically add your events into your task or meetings database. This is something that I have been doing the past week or so, and oh, it's been so good. Like it has been saving an awful lot of time. I mean, I'd never put them in anyway, but it's nice to be able to just come on in and see it automatically there.
So for those people that have not used Zapier before, don't understand API integrations, or have no idea on how your workflow works behind the scene, could you explain what exactly you've done, like the nitty-gritty stuff? Like, I know roughly how it works, but not everyone necessarily will.
So a Zap basically connects multiple apps together, and the Zaps use an unofficial API integration, which basically takes data from
Asterisk unofficial. It's not like a Notion.
This is not the Notion. This is a reverse engineered API. We don't know how close it will be to the actual API when and if that comes. It seems like that it's been announced on Twitter, and I have retweeted the hit out of it, that it is coming beta testing next month, potentially. Beta testing, potentially.
Beta. Yeah. Who knows?
We don't know, but from what I've seen, I know that Camilla, I think she's part of Notion, and Ivan both have tweeted on Twitter publicly that there is going to be something coming in the next month or so.
I
anyway,
also put in an article that was going to happen sometime this quarter. So
yeah,
we're coming.
We're right at the end of the quarter, so who knows? I'm really excited. And basically, from what I can understand from the reverse engineering of this, it means that I can take stuff from anywhere else that supports Zapier. So Google Calendar, Google Drive, Google Docs, multitude of other apps, including things like Typeform and loads of business apps, which means you can take it straight from another app and then import it into your databases. So for me, I have two. One is an integration with my Rocketbook, which is a digital book which you can like make notes and then literally take a photo, and it will upload it into my Google Drive. Once it goes into a folder in my Google Drive, it takes the scan and then uploads it as a note in my notes database, which means I can refer to it later and then erase the note. So that's one thing. So I know that Danny, you do paper notes. So if you had a Rocketbook, you could do the same thing.
Yeah, most of my paper notes are algebraic equations trying to work out formulas. So yeah, I don't think I'd really want that in Notion, because if I'm going to adjust any of those calculations, I'd much rather just scribble and write. But that's me doing maths. Like, yeah,
but when I want to make paper notes instead of Notion notes, because my keyboard's quite clicky, I have it in there, and so it connects together. It's the main benefit of having the API is going to be the integrations with other apps, meaning that Notion is not in a silo on its own. It will have the capacity to connect to, you can send a text from your phone and it will appear in Notion, for example. That can happen. You can send an email and you'll forward an email into Notion. There's a lot of use cases and potential with it. Oh, look at this. Look at this.
I actually made this ages ago. And I've just never really used it much, but I figure it's probably the most appropriate time to say like and share it. One, because it's a new channel and you got to like the stream, because I always forget to like them. Even if I've watched the stream all the way through, I forget to like it. And because it's a new channel, make sure you share it so people know where we are. I put it on my YouTube channel in the community posts 4 times. I've been on my Twitter, on my Instagram, on LinkedIn. And my sister still said, "Where are you streaming?" So make sure you're like sharing it out so people know where we are.
Yes. Thanks for interrupting that.
I was trying to do that discreetly, and then you made it a thing. You just made it a thing. So I was going to say, moving forward with
can before we continue, can one of our lovely people listeners please share a link to Homesick Mac so he knows where to go, because I've just been DM'd by Homesick Mac. Can one of our lovely watchers please tweet Homesick Mac and say it's here?
I shared it on Twitter like half an hour before we spoke.
Me too.
Ah, never mind. I'm sure we'll get there. Yeah. So with the API then, so I can see the use for the calendar and having the meetings go into your meetings database, task database, whatever you call it. That makes sense. That's cool. What was the other one that you said? Because the Google Drive docs, that really doesn't affect me that much. Emails, is that possible? Like with the unofficial thingy?
I haven't tried it yet, but theoretically, yes, you can send emails, forward it to an address, and then you can take the body of the email and put it straight into a Notion note. You can add things to the body of a note to a Notion page.
How does that work? Because obviously, I'm envisaging it being something like the clipper, i.e., like you push the button and then it clips the content of the email into your Notion.
So you have different like selection properties. You can select the different things. I'm trying to log into Zapier now so that I can show you if people want me to, if they want to see it. But you'll be able to just add things into a message and be able to add things in. Another thing is like forms. So I'm launching a new service, and to test Notion's upcoming in the future, hopefully API, I'm testing it with this Notion automations thing, so that someone fills in a type form and that data gets put into a special database and fills out the properties, and then inside of the actual body it shows the whole thing, and that's literally done very. It's kind of like a drag and drop kind of thing. It's like this bit of data, this bit of data, this bit of data, and you can just connect the two together and it just does it. I don't know the nerdy stuff behind what I do, but no one cares.
I'm just thinking, because at the moment, obviously, you know my workflow. And I think most people in here will know that I just copy the URL and paste it into Notion. So I'm assuming the workflow is going to be as quick as, if not faster, because otherwise there's no real use.
Yeah, and I think like the Zapier integration is more specifically connecting other apps with it. So using like sending an email to a certain email will put it into Notion for you, into a certain database. As it goes without saying, only use it if you need it. Like it's a nice thing, but it is not necessary. I have coped so far without it. It's just a nice little thing to save me, money in the long run, because at the moment my VA puts all my meetings in and does all that for me, which is wonderful, so I don't have to. But also it kind of means she can prioritize in other ways. It's kind of going to the $10, $100, $1,000, $10,000 KHE kind of methodology of doing the bigger, like simplifying your workflows, making things easier so that I don't have to keep, or my VA in my case, have to keep adding meetings in manually. It's a time-saving feature.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess this is a good way to move on to the purist thing, which was mentioned. When it comes to the unofficial stuff, the add-ons, the plugins, the enhancers, I think Gail mentioned enhancers. Have any of you tried third-party tools? Yeah, there you go, that one. Enhancers. I found a video by Pass. Yeah. So I personally don't use any of the enhancers or add-ons or attachments or anything like that for a few reasons. One, I don't like the idea of having something in my space that may ruin it in some way because it's not native to Notion. I don't understand how everything works on the back end. And if they do something to the extension that freezes something, breaks something, removes, I don't know how anything works when it comes to putting stuff in other than an embed. Then there's that slight worry. The second worry being, if I become reliant on that thing that's in my space and then they decide, actually, we don't want this thing, or something breaks and they don't develop it or they don't update it, well, my workflow is now partly reliant on that thing that's been put in. Notion, I believe, aren't going to suddenly go, let's not develop Notion. I don't think that's on the cards for a while. So when it comes to the enhancers and the unofficial stuff, I don't know how long that they're going to last. It's very similar with like new and upcoming starter apps. Just thinking, well, I don't want to put everything in this app because I don't know whether it's stable enough.
Yeah, and that goes without saying. This Notion automation thing, it's not 100%. It is a little buggy. It doesn't always work. And for me, the stuff that I'm going to do will not become a big part of my workflow. Either I will do it or my VA will do it. It doesn't make a big difference to me. It's not a game changer. It just reduces the hours I'm paying my VA so I can actually, or not necessarily spend less money on her, but just divert it into a better place to do more efficient things and better things. So even if this API doesn't work, or we have to wait another 2 years for the API, it's okay. I can cope, if that makes sense. It's not end of the world.
Yeah. And something else with the, I guess, the Notion Purist stuff, we are going to do a podcast episode on this. But something else that springs to mind is when Notion do an update. If Notion does an update and it breaks the thing that you were using, again, same sort of problem, is, okay, now whatever you've added in, changed, whatever, that's then going to have to develop with the Notion update. I mean, an easy example is just the emojis. Like they changed the design of the emojis. And it was like, for me anyway, it was a bit of like a spur of the moment. You're thinking, oh, they've done an update and they've changed what all the emojis look like. Okay. Obviously, as an enhancer extension, whatever, that's not really going to make much of a difference. But if they do a small thing to a database view or to a block or the way something functions, and that affects whatever extension you've got on there, maybe, for example, you're using I don't even know what script it is, whether it's JavaScript or Python, I don't know, the things to get rid of the date property stuff. If Notion do that natively, what does that JavaScript stuff do? Does that override the native change? Does that prevent a change? Like, I don't know how it will all work behind it. And if Notion do it, can you then get rid of the integration you've used? I don't know, because essentially, if it becomes redundant, can you get rid of it? Is it easy to get rid of it? I don't know code, so I know I'd need help with it. So that's something else that comes to mind. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's and I think something that a nerdy Notioneer was saying about if you're selling templates, that also is another matter of it. For example, I have a template which is for people who like to take loads of course junkies. And like my instant thought of, this could be a really good, like I could use the Notion automations to automatically add the course in to your database, to your course junkie database. But then it's the fact of, one, you need to have the Notion automations. Two, if Notion updates and breaks,
Yep.
It's the same thing again. You just have it if you like it. If it's a quality of life feature, chances are Notion will end up adding that in eventually, because they are very active. They do respond to user feedback silently, but they do respond. They do respond to user feedback. They do implement things based on feedback. So
yeah. There's definitely a lot of chatter in the ambassadors group about all of the stuff that comes in the feedback. And there's just a lot of conversations about everything, but obviously they can't be front facing with everything because there's a lot of features that people ask for. I mean, my list, I think I've got about 100 and something on there. All of them are different and none of them have been applied into Notion because I make sure I get rid of them. Because some of the lists that I've seen with people wanting things, I look at and go, well, you can do that. You can do that. You can do that. So I make sure I keep my list fairly updated. So yeah, I think that covers the API integrations fairly well. But while we're kind of on this trend, automations, in-house automations. So ClickUp obviously have like in-app automations between things. Coda kind of has the buttons and stuff like that, which are kind of automations, kind of not. And with who was it? I think it was Akshay mentioned in the interview about the in-app automations that they're looking to do. I have no idea how they would do that.
I'm worried about that.
Yeah, because I don't know where they would add it, because with the API, there are some ways that you could think about how they could apply that. In-app automations, I don't know.
And an API is very much a back end. It's not user focused. It's not. I would be very concerned if Notion went for the coder ClickUp way of working, because I don't feel
flexibility that is why we're there.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But yeah.
I mean, so just troubleshooting this in my head, when I think about ClickUp, it's a back-end thing that you have a whole nother panel for, but that panel is a separate thing in the sidebar, because ClickUp has, you have your tasks, you have your home, you have your dashboard, you have your settings. They are menus on your sidebar because that's how it's structured. But that's because it's a structured boxed app. Maybe they have that as a menu with your sidebar at the bottom.
No. I wouldn't want, like, for me, the reason why I went with Notion is it's completely, you can open it up and it's blank. If you have your sidebar closed,
everything you need to from your page. So even with the account settings stuff, where it says start from Monday or Sunday, and it's in that sidebar menu thing. Once you've set that up, you don't need to look at it again.
Yeah.
Whereas with the automations, I feel like the automations would be similar with formulas, filters, sorts, linked databases. You'd want to adjust them here and there depending on how your workflow changes. But yeah, which Gail's asked a question. Which requested feature from your list would make you think again about installing a third-party add-on despite your well-explained reservations? To be honest, I don't know if your list is the same. Most of the things on my list are things that would just boost Notion a little bit further. And the 1/2 things that would make me want to use an add-on thing would drastically change Notion so much that I don't think would be possible. I will say what it is in a second, but John, what's yours?
Oh, okay. No, you can't do that. Well, I mean, personally, I don't have the enhancer, the Notion enhancer. I do have the web clipper, the better web clipper, quite frankly. I have that because that is very good. So I have the web clipper, which I suppose is a third party. Well, it is a third party add-on. I have that, and I also use Indify as well, which is sort of third party, but not at the same time because it's a widget. So, and if you're saying that, then things like Gumroad and
I was going to say everything you can embed.
Yeah. So
Figma, Miro, Google
Figma,
Drive.
Miro, yeah, like whimsical, all of it's like, yeah. So for me to put it in, I have to have a reason for it.
So this can already be done in Coda, which is where I got the idea from, but inline formulas.
Oh, yes.
So the ability to either reference a property in a database and show an output in a text block or in the page inline, or the other way around. So you can reference information from a page block that's in the page inside of a formula. Like that ability, I mean, messing with formulas would give us so much more power. Or maybe something where formulas reference similar to spreadsheets, and formulas you can reference another page. So it's like a cell reference.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But how?
I'd install that. I would install the shit out of that. I really would.
Exactly. But that's what I mean. Anyway. They are the main add-ons that I would love, but that's why I said it was like 1/2/3. But they are literally their own app. That's a massive thing. I think putting those or any one of those three things into Notion would probably require more back-end work than the API. I think the hold up with the API isn't the back-end work. It's making more like the connections with everything safe and legal and everything else, I think, but I don't know.
Legal?
Well, yeah, because, well, not legal is not the right word, but where you've made the connection and then
Secure.
that's the one. That's the one. I didn't want to say security because as soon as you say security, people are like, well, there's no end-to-end encryption and 2FA and stuff. Yeah.
I'm just looking at the Notion enhancer thing. It looks kind of good. I haven't installed it, but it's intriguing.
I'm going to read through this, and then if you share your screen, I can have a look as well. Ability to hide properties of database pages and a true weekly calendar view are what got me to try the enhancer program. The hiding the properties, I think everyone wants. I think everyone wants that, and you can do that with add-ons and things. But for me, I personally don't. I don't worry about them because I guess partly it's because I'm so used to them. And a nerdy Notioneer, I don't want to spread what you've done because I don't know whether lots of people know about it. I may leave it to you to share a video about what you've done with the
yeah, it's pretty cool.
The solution that you made. What is this? Ability to hybrid would be, but I found a workaround, so it doesn't bother me anymore. Yeah. Put in chat if I'm free to share what you've done. If not, I will leave it to you because I don't want to like rain on your parade or anything. So John, I'm going to share your screen.
Cool.
Oh
so,
wow.
Yeah, it's nerdy stuff, but
I'm going to make that full screen. There we go. I can see now.
So I can hang on. I'll also zoom in as well.
Okay, that video is coming Sunday.
Oh, nice. Okay, how does that look? Does that look okay now? Yeah, it does look a bit better.
I've taken us off screen so they can hear us, but they should be able to hear us. If
they can't, that'd be funny. Okay, so I really do like some of these. And what's really nice is the fact that it's not against the rules either, which is quite nice. I do quite like that.
What do you mean not against the rules?
Like, there are other apps I've used in the past where you're not allowed to use user scripts and styles and stuff like that, meaning Notion are against it, but they're not.
Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah, thank you, Gal. And so there's some nice features in here. I think this bypassing the preview, just clicking in and going straight in instead of having that stupid thing where
you've lost me.
Like you've got the ability to just, where it opens up. From what I understand, how you have the mini view
and it goes straight to the main page.
Yeah, it goes straight to full page. That's nice. I like that. And this is pretty nice as well, but yeah.
What was that?
This is the calendar scroll. Add a button to scroll down to the current week in full page infinite scroll calendars. I thought that was already there, wasn't it?
You can go to today
and keep going. I thought you could. I guess not.
Well, yeah, in the main calendar view, but not in a.
Because it's in full page. I thought I already had that.
Yeah, so did I.
And these themes are nice. There's some nice little themes there, but they're all just little tiny things.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Regarding Enhancer, I've been using it on my Windows laptop, but haven't been able to get it going on my Mac yet.
Oh no! And then it's the font chooser, which no.
Oh, you can add custom fonts. Is that it?
Customize fonts for each option. Yeah. No. No. Just no.
I mean, that's nice, but
no. Oh, hiding the help. Oh gosh, yes, please. There's some nice little things. There are definitely. I'm just scrolling through now because those be here.
Night shift. Yeah, nothing there really jumps out and goes, okay, that's useful. It's
auto collapse page properties, but
I'm on my keyboard anyway. Keyboard shortcuts. I'm just flying through them all. I'm just flying through them all, so I don't. Yeah, I don't really need that.
There's not very much that is there that I would. The weekly view is nice.
Yeah, I
Calendar
mean,
views named weekly will show only the 7 days of this week. That's nice, but that involves me having to name it weekly, which I don't want to have to name it. I want to name it how I want to name it. But anyway, that's the point.
and you can technically use a formula and go through that way, but
Yeah, true. And then you've got the word counter. That's pretty cool. That's quite cool, I suppose. I guess.
yeah. But I mean, I personally wouldn't use it again. It's one of those things that this is something that I was saying about ClickUp. Is ClickUp has a lot of options and things that you can do, and I'm like, cool, nice. I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't use it. And a lot of those things are nice,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't use it. So even the ability, so when it looks like it's a toggle on thing with the window open page preview thing. A lot of the time, I want to go into the page and just jump through things.
Yeah. So opening it as a full page would be really annoying.
Yes, and if there is a toggle, like a feature thing that goes on and off, which is what it looks like, that would actually be more of a hindrance than a help. If I'm going to my projects, I want to just open up a quick window so I can see the relation to the project from the task on my dashboard, click on the relation,
go project,
quickly scroll down and go, okay, this is all I need to do. And then I may jump to my dashboard from there. And then if I want to go back to my main dashboard, because it's still a small window, I can just click off it and I'm at my main dashboard.
Yeah.
Rather than me having to go, right, big page. Okay, now find the property and then go big page and then control 1 to go back to the dashboard. It would just slow me down.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, isn't it? It's just, it depends on how you've implemented it, how you're planning to use it, why you're using it. There's a lot you can do, but it's just a bit like,
Sound effects. Yeah. So next thing that springs to mind is recurring tasks. That was the next big thing. So we've done the API thing, and integrations and automations. Recurring tasks. When enhancements and customizations equals workflow clutter. I like that.
Yes, agreed. And now I've got to get up again.
So recurring tasks, John.
Oh, go away. I don't want to talk about recurring tasks.
Rather than just saying, oh, recurring tasks, which is what everyone tends to do, what would you actually want from a recurring task? What actual feature would you want to see from the recurring task?
Do you know what? I don't actually know.
And this is the thing that drives me mad when people say recurring tasks. What would you actually want? Because you can already see tasks when they need to appear. You can make those things in formulas. I have recurring tasks in my space. The main thing that I would want to see in recurring tasks, because I've thought about this, is I would want to see the same task multiple times in a calendar view. That is the feature I would want for recurring tasks. So I could see, okay, it occurs in these things.
My thing, now I don't know this, full disclosure, I don't think Notion are ever going to do it. Because why?
And
how?
I was going to say, like I've brought up on a previous stream, if you do have that, you then have two choices. One, you have the same page, because that's what a task is. You have the same page that is going to have an infinite amount of dates on it, because it's going to have an infinite amount of dates for it to show in that calendar view, which, how do you do that? That's just madness. Or it's going to automatically create a new page for each occurrence of that. But that's
automations. Zapier.
But still, if
Zapier could do that, could envision it.
But still, if you do that, say for example, I want a recurring task every day. If I put recurring task every day, it's now going to make an infinite amount of pages for that task.
Yeah.
So where do you stop it? Do you stop it at 1 month, 2 months, 4 months? What if you change it? If you say, right, I'm going to do this task every day for 3 months. Right, okay, so now you've got 90 tasks all saying the same thing. I've changed my mind. Now it has to dump all 90 of those tasks and bring in another however many if you're going to change it. Massively
This is.
overrated.
I'm gonna be really controversial here. Are you ready?
I am ready.
If you need recurring tasks, put them in another app on your calendar.
I mean,
Because what's the fucking point?
you were gonna not swear and then realize actually I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Just what's the point?
time blocking for recurring tasks, fine. Link doesn't work for me. That's from Facebook. Lydia, if the link isn't working for you, I'm assuming going to the live stream on YouTube, then you should be able to type in Notion Nerds on YouTube and you should be able to find us.
Only if he's done it right. Anyway.
What do you mean I've done it right? It's not down to me. It's down to YouTube serving doing the SEO bit. Like I've done the SEO bit fine. It's just YouTube recognizing what we are, who we are.
Utter nutters. Oh, I'm gonna get some feedback. This is horrible. I'm trying to grab it so I can share it to Twitter just in case that people can't find it. Okay, there we go.
Lydia's on Facebook, not Twitter.
Well, I'm showing it on Twitter, Lydia. So jump on Twitter.
What if she doesn't have Twitter? That's harsh.
That's true, but I can't go into Facebook as well. It's already crying.
Get rid of Twitter and just bring up my Facebook page, because that's where I'm streaming it to on Facebook.
Yeah.
No, I'm just streaming it to my Facebook page. It's not like you got to find anything. It's literally just type my name in. It's not my profile. It's my page, because some people I feel bad for saying this, but some people don't realize that you can have a page and a profile on Facebook. Yeah. But yeah, so while Jonathan's doing that, I will recurring tasks. When it comes to recurring tasks for meetings, if it's every other week or every other day or a certain day of the week, certain day of the month, certain day of the year, anything like that, you can already do that. Yes, it requires formulas. Yes, it's not intuitive, and it does take some time and effort to get it to work, but you can do it. That's the thing. You can, I mean, if you're a big business and you're just like, I just want these things in there, then just hire someone like myself or John or any other consultant and do it. Or find a template and have it done. If however, you're looking for time blocking, then you could use Google Calendar for time block. I don't time block. What was that? Was that what I thought it was? Jonathan, was that now or what I thought? Yeah, I thought
it was
so.
because I could hear you talking and us talking at the same time.
All right,
It hurt my head.
You heard it twice. Oh dear.
It was really hard to deal with. Right.
Use another app for recurring tasks. Possible. How many capabilities from the API do you think are already possible in Notion through configuration or already existing workarounds? Good
question.
Sorry. Jonathan, I see you've put it in chat. There's Jonathan on Facebook, everyone. Sorry, I just thought I'd share that.
Wow!
I know. You do exist on Facebook.
I do exist, yeah. Believe it or not.
Yeah, go on then, Jonathan. You said you were going to answer a question and then you're going to sip some orange. Orange.
Thank you. I'm so glad you did that.
Yeah, so I'll bring Gail's thing back up. Use another app for recurring tasks. Possible. How many capabilities from the API do you think are already possible in Notion through configurations or already existing workarounds? When it comes to already existing workarounds in app,
formulas.
I can tell you now, I have made triple figures in formulas for recurring tasks. Different iterations, use cases, possibilities, arguments. So when it comes to workarounds, there is almost an endless possibility of formulas you could make.
I have seen his workarounds. They are beautiful and quite scary at the same time from someone who understands formulas.
Yeah, I made a formula before. I think it was before I was sort of doing the social media thing. I made a formula for recurring tasks. and it was the longest formula I'd ever made. I think it was like 19 times the size of the formula box. And I'm not even joking. I made the section of the formula in the formula box, and then I just like put it in a code block, and then the next section, and then the next section, and then I had like 19 code blocks going down, and like copied and pasted it all into the formula box, and it worked. It was like, yes. And it had pretty much every recurring task you could think of. Essentially, what I did is I looked at ClickUp, and I recreated every single recurring task that ClickUp does, every single one, into one formula box in Notion. So workarounds in Notion, there are loads. Workarounds outside of Notion, Google Calendar is the only one that really springs to mind, or something equivalent. Are you the same?
Yeah, like I would just like for recurring tasks,
like
if you need like that, if you really are desperate for something so well, by beautiful, they are terrifying at the same time, Gail. Like when we say beautiful, we actually mean absolutely terrifying, and we're going to come back to it weeks later and go, eh?
This is something that I'm actually going to share in my course. Hint, course coming out about formulas.
By the end of this year.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I actually do a couple of things inside of my Notion to first help the creation process of making formulas that are long, because when you have like 5 nested functions inside of one another, it does get complicated, but it can be very, very easy. And there's a couple of things that I do to help me out with that. But I also do something to keep track of the logic in the formula. So when I go back to it, I can just go back to a reference page and be like, oh, this is what I did. These are the sections, these are the bits, and everything like that. So there are things to help you out with it. But if you're not, I don't know whether naturally gifted, like naturally logically minded.
We are gonna freaking rant about that if you start saying the gifted.
No, it's not like naturally gifted or anything. It's just like the way you think, like the right brain, left brain. Shut up, John, you ginger.
Ooh, you said I have a hair color.
You're the same color as our background, look, and me. But yeah. By the way, for those of you that have just joined, because I just saw the numbers go up, we are friends at the moment.
Oh yeah, no, we are friends. As long as he actually starts doing stuff with this damn podcast instead of leaving it to me. But yeah.
Right, you're doing timestamps next week.
No, I'm not. I do feel for you. You did like 3 hours straight of timestamps.
You can talk to yourself next week.
You would not miss it for the world.
Yeah, you'd have no one to insult.
I just insult myself, which is what I do anyway. So it's no different.
Yeah, yeah, but it would be a very short podcast because there'd be no one derailing.
True.
No one derailing.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's podcast. This is what I'm going to show you. Shows you exactly what I said I'd show you. Huh.
Ends podcast, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
What a boring show that would be.
I know, right?
Yeah, so recurring tasks, you were going to mention about other calendar apps or something similar. So I mentioned Google Calendar.
You could easily use Todoist for things like I think there's this concept of having a toolbox of apps, and I think Notion can do almost everything and even can do recurring tasks. But if you are so anti-formula and don't want to use formulas, and recurring tasks are such a key important part of your life, then one, you could very easily mimic the daily journal, kind of your habit tracker daily journal thing, where you just do, these are the things I have to do every day. Tick, 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 tick. And that's about as far as I really...
Everything that I do daily is really small, that it's literally just a tick box. I don't need anything else for it. It's, yeah, I've done it. Yeah, I've done it. Yeah, I've done it.
I just...
There is no, I mean, even if you're going to journal and it's a daily journal, exactly the same principle. You just open up the page instead of pushing the tick box.
And like, you could use Zapier integrations for that. Oh, a Nerdy Notioneer has a good point.
I just saw that one come up. I've got my mouse over Gail's point.
Oh, go.
So, yeah, I'll go with Gail's and then we'll go down to Nerdy Notioneer. Do you think the API release is already too late to be the seismic shift it could have been?
Have you seen my Twitter absolutely exploded when I mentioned about it was so popular, even Thomas Frank followed me. Like Thomas Frank followed me after that tweet. So no, it's still going to be pretty. I just wanted to name drop for a change. Normally Danny's the one who name drops, but it's my turn for a change. Anyway, so,
is this what I say that I've been talking to Thomas Frank like in DMs for the last month?
Thomas? You said Thomas Frank?
No, I said Thomas Frank.
Of course. Anyway, like
that might be my hand was over my mouth and my mic is like sitting on my desk and I broke it again.
Yeah, again. No, I think it is still going to be a huge shift and even bigger now because once I know, right? Like the hype is real, and if it's going to be like the Notion automations and being able to add things in via tables and databases, which I'm fairly confident that's how it's going to be. They've got to get it from somewhere, so I'm fairly confident that's how it's going to start, perhaps. And then it's going to expand from there. I feel that's going to be absolutely like it's going to start being a killer. Like it's going to make a lot of difference to a lot of people's workflows.
And the thing is, with the API, yes, it's pushed people away from the application, but those people that went away from the application, from looking at all the groups and the communities that I've seen, those people are still in the Notion community. They're still sitting there, basically waiting for it.
Yeah.
So when it does drop. Well, I say when, hopefully, fingers crossed this year, maybe. When it does drop, cross all fingers. Those people are going to, I would imagine, jump back, even if it's just to see what it's like, see how it works, just to experiment with it. And you can look at Google Trends. Notion does this. It started to drop, and then as soon as the API was mentioned, it started to increase. Just mentioned the API when the article came out from Akshay, the Google Trends was starting to drop. Akshay mentioned it in an article and like jumped up again, and then it started dropping again. And then the timeline view was spoken about on an article. That was last year when the timeline view was thing. Just, poof, every time there's an update with Notion, irrespective of what it is, there's a spike. It's the same with most applications. So will the API cause a spike? Hell yes.
The API is one of the most wanted features in Notion. If it doesn't have a spike, unless they absolutely mess up the launch.
Not being funny, there was a spike with their backlinks.
Yeah, they couldn't mess that up any.
They couldn't make the backlinks any more.
T. Now we're spilling tea now. Anyway. Yeah, they couldn't backlink. Yeah. I feel that
Backlinks are going to get a buzz. API is definitely going to get a buzz.
I don't think it could have had a bigger, even bigger. Nah, I don't believe that at all. I think it's going to be a bigger one because Notion is becoming more and more mainstream, which is a concern of mine. Little worry.
Concern?
It is becoming. It is becoming more popular now and more used by more people. But yeah.
And there's more videos going on YouTube because I'm running out of more time because I'm watching the videos. To be fair, I'm watching 10-minute videos in like 30 seconds. So
yeah, and it's big. It's growing. Notion is growing, and its knowledge is growing. And I think it's going to keep growing. And just go on blimmin', what's it called? Product Hunt right now.
Notion this, Notion that, Notion template.
Notion. I didn't know templates could go on Product Hunt. Notion templates are not. They are.
You're talking about Thomas Frank's template that got thingied on Hunt, yeah.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, his template was put on Product Hunt or something. I saw it on Twitter. Nerdy Notion here. Let's bring this one up. So here's a thought: using the nav bar, just link to the app that does the recurring task.
Yeah. Zunka funka dunkily.
Okay.
Yes, precisely.
Okay.
That is exactly what it's useful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of people do that anyway with external apps that they're using. May have to ride that wave for creating videos on it when it comes out. But I just don't know enough about it, so better. I mean, I don't think it's a case of this is kind of a creator thing as well as a Notion thing. It's not a case of understanding how everything works. It's how you're going to use it. Most people don't care about how it works. It's how they use it. How do they apply it? Most of the videos I've done are how-to videos because a lot of people had seen the finished products. They'd seen people's systems, but they didn't know how to build it, which is the direction that I took. Now there are a lot of videos and guides. Notion have done their own guides. I haven't looked at them. I don't know if they're any good. Have you seen them? The Notion guides thing. Have you seen them?
They're not bad. They're not bad. They're not the world's best thing, but they're certainly not. They're certainly well needed. They're quite late in the journey of Notion. They should have been done a lot earlier, but better late than never.
They've got a YouTube channel as well, which has loads of answers on there. So the how-to stuff is fine. It's how are you going to use it in your workflow? How are you going to use the API if you're going to use it? Yeah.
And also, like, as a business owner, because, like, primarily for me, it's about saving time so I don't have to work as hard. There are a lot of people who don't use apps where I do for nearly everything in my business. So for me, it's just going to be an addition to my workflows. It's not going to be anything. It's just going to save me time, nothing else.
Yeah. To Gail's point, basically, he was saying, "Did you read? Oh, I'll just read it out. Your underwhelming reaction to the backlinks feature in Notion is how I feel about the API overall because I've already been broken in with the Notion app." Yeah, and I think it's going to be the same for a lot of people. It's the same with any sort of change. When a change comes in, you think, well, I've been using this for so long. Do I really need this change, this new thing?
It's an augment. It's an add-on. It's a bonus. It's a oh, this is nice. This is helpful. This saves me some time.
Yeah,
and that's it. Especially API focused in that terms. It's like the same with the ability to shift weeks and your massive like formula where you can just change one date and everything shifts. It's a nice feature, but it's not necessary for you to have.
I'm with you now. I was like, what are you talking about? But yeah, my action date formula.
It's a nice little thing to have. It's a nice little nerdy thing to go, oh yeah, I could do this. And I kind of click up. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. That's why you created it. It was the middle finger to say yes, you could do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to the conversation with I think it's Evie or Eva. I can't remember. But essentially, for those of you that don't know, I'm going to have a conversation, I believe, sometime early January with a ClickUp consultant. She is on YouTube that does pretty much the same thing as me, just related to ClickUp, and we were having a bit of a comparison between apps over Twitter, and we decided to do it on a stream. So we're going to have a chat, and I don't know how much she's explored Notion. I have explored ClickUp fairly extensively, so I know the two apps, so I can compare the two. I don't know how much she's explored Notion, so it's going to be fun to see if she sort of goes, well, you can do this in ClickUp. Can you do it in Notion? And I'm just going to sit there and go, yes. Yes. And when the API comes out, if the API comes out before that conversation, ClickUp has literally nothing over Notion. There is literally nothing.
Strictly speaking, right now, even with the Notion automations thing, the unofficial API,
yeah, that's true.
It still has nothing now.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Anything that ClickUp can do with this unofficial Zapier integration. Yay! I know. I did. That's what I was doing when I was trying to like make you distract. Was try to send it to him as well. Sorry it took me so long, Homesick Mac. I was waiting for Danny to actually talk for a bit because he's now like, this is our channel now. You can talk more.
Are you going to talk?
No.
Sit there awkward silence.
No.
It's not awkward. It's not awkward. It's just like a really bad habit to do for stream.
I love how we both drank at the same time, which meant the silence continued.
Yes. Oh, that's brilliant. Okay. So for homesick's sake, we've been streaming for almost an hour and we've gone over two things. We've gone over the API and recurring tasks. My list is
wow.
My list is 140 long. 24-hour stream, guys.
But just as a recap for recurring tasks, because it's so big, dream on if it's coming into Notion. It wouldn't work.
Is there
natively? There's no point.
Formulas.
It's yeah, but people don't want formulas. People
are lazy.
He said that, not me.
Honesty.
He's right.
Honesty, brutal honesty. I'm the same. I'm lazy. If I could do it with one button, I would. But I'll need to get more popcorn and coffee. Not to mention, we don't mention PB. We don't mention PB in here anymore.
Oh, I can't change the background. I don't have admin control on this thing. Else I would put small jars of peanut butter in the background.
We have control of the icon. He's just going to make the Notion Nerds a peanut butter jar.
That'd be so funny.
Notion Nerds channel. Why is there a peanut jar as the icon? Yeah, house joke. Right. So the third thing, the third big thing. I'm not going to go over security and the rest of that because we've gone over that so many times, and yeah, that's just a rabbit hole I don't want to go down. Offline mode.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
I think the offline mode applies to most people on the phone and iPad.
Mm-hmm.
Not PC or Mac or anything. Well, I guess Mac as well because laptops. But I think the offline mode mainly applies to those on phone and iPad. What was that?
Okay. Am I the first? No, the one before. Am I the first to mention PB on this channel? I'm honored. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Peanut butter jelly time.
That's what keeps coming in my head as well.
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm going to throw a little bit of shade onto Notion right now. The phone and iPad app, I don't know whether it's the app, just the phone and iPad versions of Notion are inferior to the PC.
God, yeah.
And the majority of people that would use the offline mode are going to be using the phone and the iPad. So I think Notion's focus is on the PC users because that's where the majority of people use Notion. It's on PC or it's at home, it's at work where they have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Do you disagree?
Yeah, I do.
You do disagree?
Yeah, I do disagree. Yay! Like, because there's the laptops with people with bad internet as well. Because like not everywhere you can get internet, but you still use it on a computer. I do believe that Notion need to really up their game on that. In like the iPad, I don't use it on an iPad. Why would I use it on an iPad? Is my reaction. Because it's so poor. Like, it's just unusable on a tablet. I know that my VA, Rebecca, tries to use Notion on an iPad and she's broken stuff because she's used it on the iPad. She's just tried to do normal things and it's not worked. And it's just like, Notion, please fix it. But, yeah. And students... A nerdy Notioner has a Notioneer. I never know what to say. Is it Notioneer or Notioner?
I think it's Notioneer because there's two E's. I know. If it's the same as like Alex's pronunciation, a Notioneer, then that's where I'm guessing it's sort of come from. Offline for me is more important on desktop. That's interesting. I mean, so I can only obviously speak from my experience and the people that I've spoken to and worked with. But the majority of people that I have spoken to, worked with, and myself are in an environment either at home, at work, at university, or is somewhere that has internet connection. And if I'm not in a place that has internet connection and I want to take a quick note, I'm not going to take a quick note on my phone on Notion anyway, because Notion's load time is slow. So I'm going to use something native on my phone anyway, like the voice recorder. So I wouldn't need the offline mode if I'm not using the Notion app. But I agree.
So here's a question. Do you have the Notion app on your phone?
Yes.
Why?
Principle, I guess. Pretty much.
So there's a concept of digital minimalism, which you obviously don't have.
Okay. Apps on my phone include all of the stuff that was given with the phone that I can't delete, plus social media, plus Notion. That's it.
Well, you don't need Notion because you don't use it. So.
Yeah, true. I could get rid of it. But then my homepage, instead of having 3 spaces, would have 4 spaces.
Oh, that'd be annoying.
So instead of having the top bar empty, I'd just have like 2 and then just nothing. Yeah.
Fair enough. So you're keeping it on there for the sake of having it on there. All of the hard work that the Notion team put into the mobile app, and you're only keeping it on there because it fills space.
I mean, sometimes I go on it to test things out, to see how it works, how it functions, and work out things. When some people ask me questions like, how do you do this on phone? I'm like, I don't know. Go on my phone and just figure it out, and then just send a message back. But yeah, the offline mode, I definitely understand it needing use, but I think the offline mode is linked quite closely with backups, local storage and local backups.
I think more useful backups would be good.
Yeah, because the markdown stuff is not fun.
And the fact that you can't import your Notion workspace. If you export it, you can't import it again. That seems pointless.
Yep. I completely agree. I mean, I've exported my workspace once, and that was when it was like 4 pages big.
I would love to see what happens if you exported your workspace now.
I don't think Notion would let me, because obviously my public page is included in my workspace.
That would be lovely.
My public page has got over 200 examples.
My question is, what happens to formulas when you export them?
I have no idea. Like I say, I haven't exported a Notion thing. The only time I've exported really from Notion is when I was doing the Excel and Google Sheets videos, where I was exporting the databases out as CSVs. And we go back in, literally the only time. And it was a database with like 10 pages and like 3 properties. There was nothing significant about it, so it really didn't do much when it comes to that. I know when you export formula properties in the database, it just gives the number output or the string output. It doesn't actually calculate anything. And I've obviously I learned that from the Excel Google Sheets video. So from that sense, it'd
be even more useless, especially in your space.
Yeah.
It would be awful.
As soon as you bring it back in, right now I've got to remake these formulas. Sod off.
Yeah.
Making those formulas every time I back up my space. That'll be a case of I'm going to save those somewhere.
Do you not save your formulas?
Other than in the property.
Seriously? Why?
I have a breakdown of them. I guess that is kind of saving them. So I have a breakdown of them. But no, I don't really like save the whole thing. I just have a breakdown of them. This goes into what I don't know if I'm going to put it in the blog post or not, but I will go over extensively in my course about how I make formulas, how I troubleshoot formulas and things like that. But yeah, So yeah, when it comes to then added features, obviously we've gone over a couple of added features for formulas. Are there any added features you can think of off the top of your head that we haven't mentioned that are like like really small things or anything like that? That you go, oh, that'd be really nice. Because I don't think I've asked you. I've asked most people, but I don't think I've actually asked you to see if you've got any or any ideas about things that would be cool. True. Didn't think of import export. Okay. No copies of the formula.
Yeah, I know, right? That freaked me out. I don't know.
So I can riff off I can riff off a couple of the things that I've got in my space. So I've got
larger formula box. Fuck yes, a larger formula box. Being able to resize the formula boxes, that would be heavenly to be able to break that down a little bit more. That'd be nice.
I mean, there's lots of things we could do with a formula box. Scroll bar, get rid of the fucking character count.
Another thing, the stupid damn scroll bars on tables.
Yeah,
this is Windows. This is Windows only, really, because Mac, they hide it. Why they hide it for Mac and don't hide it for Windows, I don't know. But damn, hide it.
Yeah, get rid of that shit. Yeah, I've got.
I don't mind it popping up. I don't mind it popping up when I hover over. That's fine. But I go into my computer or when I'm on my PC and I see that stupid scroll bar, and I want to punch my screen.
That's why I don't use tables. Well, it's one of the reasons I don't use it. Okay, those people that are in chat, I need your answers as well right now. Did you see Red's tweet?
Yes, yeah, let's do this. I'm really intrigued by this.
I don't understand. So basically she asked everyone what is their most used database view, whether it was a list, a table, a board, a gallery, calendar. I was going to say I've missed one, or calendar. What is your most used view? And I think it was something like 65% said table and list. It was like 30% board, 30% gallery. I think I was the only person that put calendar. It was like 1.2%. Am I alone here?
I don't know why people want to use table.
Maybe because table and list were put together. Maybe they were all voting for list, not table.
Yeah, I was a bit unhappy with that list distribution. Like, yeah. I mean, I still don't find calendar that useful, Danny. I know you like it, but it's annoying. I don't like the calendar. Yeah, you are alone on the calendar. I don't like the calendar. Mine table. Wow. No. That's interesting. I don't find tables useful whatsoever. They do my head in. I don't like tables unless I'm putting data in. Sorry?
I don't have a table anywhere in my space, not once. Not in one place, not in one single place. Actually, tell a lie. One place on my dashboard for the daily tracking so I can tick the tick boxes.
Yeah, and I think I have it when I'm assigning multiple tasks to multiple people in a template. But even then, I could shift that for a list, but I'm just lazy. It's just an old thing I've got left behind. But yeah, I find table overwhelming. Yeah, yeah. Danny used to work in tables too.
So I was in Excel as well. Like, no. Tables.
That's fascinating because I find tables really annoying.
Yeah, same. I don't like to say. The only time
gallery. I like gallery because you can have the little bits underneath. But even gallery is a little bit of a yeah. But I do like Kanban. Go on.
I use galleries for one reason. I use a table for one reason. Like the table is in one place, and that's for the daily tracking. The gallery is essentially in one place because it has now replaced my tab bar. That is it. The list view and the calendar view are the two biggest ones. But I use the calendar more than I do the list.
Yeah, so I use the list more than I use most things. I use the list followed by the gallery. And I do like the Kanban view with my products table. I like seeing Kanban view. I do like Kanban view. If they just got rid of the stupid down scroll bar, I would use the Kanban view more.
I hate the thing. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I know loads of people love it, and I just can't stand it. I'm not a Kanban board person.
Yes, you are. Your lists are set up in a Kanban style.
How?
Well, no, they're not actually, because you're in calendar for most things.
How? I have today's task list, and then I have a notes list, and then I have a calendar. And then on every single page, I have a calendar with a list, and the stuff goes from the list to the calendar. And then I have another calendar underneath. That is literally every single
Oh, yeah,
page.
have you got rid of your done thing then? Because you used to have your to do and then done. Which
it's now on top. It's now on top. But that's not like see what I've done. That's I just need to add the filters for the auto filter. For the completed tasks, for the recurring tasks, and for the done for the progress automations. So the only reason I have I had the list next to a list, now it's on top of with the formula filter, so it doesn't actually cover anything, like show anything, is purely for the auto filtering of information on that task. It's not for me to look and go to do working done or idea and this and stages and because all of my stages are a dot.
Boop.
Yep, it's a coloured dot. Love Danny's lists. It's just a list. Have I done anything special with the list view? I don't know. Are you seeing that as well? Tables overall, then lists with gallery view, the habit tracker. I'm trying to mix it up because tables do scale people. I hate the list view. Can't rearrange the title where I want it.
I'll give you that. It would be nice to have the checkboxes on the left. It would be nice. I'll give you that. That would be nice. I agree.
No, I don't use a tick box. I use a tick box on my list view. But yeah, I guess yeah, that'd be cool. I might actually add that one down. I don't know whether I'd add that down. Just having the checkbox on the right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't use the tick boxes other than
anymore.
No, but even when I did use them, it was easier on the right because it was in the middle of the page, and that's where my mouse was most of the time.
That's a true point.
Like my mouse most of the time is in the middle of the page to scroll up and down or click on things. So it's easier to have the tick box in the middle of the page on the right side of the list than on the left. If the list was on the left side, if the list was on the right side of the page, then it would make sense to have the tick box on the left because then it's now.
I just think being able to get rid of the stupid name would be good.
Well, hiding the name property in the table.
Yeah. Hiding the name property everywhere. Well, you can already do that in gallery. Yeah, you can do it in gallery. You can hide the name in gallery.
The board. I don't think you can do it in the board. But yeah, I mean, hiding the name property is nice. That's on my list as well. But see, I don't have many things where I don't have a name. So like the daily tracking is something where I don't have a name, so I use the filter to input reminder. I think reminder at the start, but I don't have to have anything in there. It could be empty and just untitled, and that's it. Everything else has a name. Name of the task, name of the project, name of the task project, note. Yeah, actually, I'm thinking of combining my quotes database with my notes database.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't done that yet because I already have.
Well, because my quotes obviously have the relation, the roll up, and the formula for the cycle. And if I have that with all of my notes, then I'd need a way to sort of like get rid of it and things. But I mean, it's definitely doable. It's on one of my lists. I think basically today I've gone from having 9, 18, 35 dashboards. Do I think about 15? So I've got rid of quite a few, yeah.
35 dashboards. That is excessive.
because I had all the sub dashboards. Because I was testing that out from looking through ClickUp and having the lists inside the folders, which is inside the space. So I was testing out the sub dashboards, but no, I didn't like it. Didn't like it. It was too granular with information. No, nothing special, but watching your channel a lot. Oh, okay. To be honest,
I'm so glad you're watching my channel. Thank you so much, Lizzie. Sorry, I couldn't help that. I couldn't help it. It was needed to be done. Come on. I needed to be ridiculed for that one. And I just thought I'd just beat you to it. Yeah, there you go.
Actually, if I move you over there, can I have you on screen in charge like that? Oh, there we go.
Hi.
Look at that. I wonder if I'm just playing like, oh, yeah, look. You know, fancy. Look at that. I don't want my face that big. Right, let's okay. So I was playing around. Sorry?
You done now? You done now?
Yeah, I'm done now.
Right.
Choosing which columns you want to keep if combining databases. I mean, the combination that I'm going to have with those two databases, because essentially that's what they are. It's not a case of what I keep and what I throw. It's how do I make sure these formulas don't apply to these things? And how do I make sure the relations and roll-ups are working properly? You're going to spit. Yeah, that was great timing. Took me a while to find your channel, so catching up. Go. What are you giggling about?
So I'm just laughing at the face. Just like, I don't want to see everything showing up.
Are you using the new camera now? Is that you guessing, or can you tell? Yes, I am. I am using the camera. I have not played with the settings that much, so I may be like blue or orange. I really don't know how it's coming out. I mean, Jonathan said I looked okay, but then I don't know whether Jonathan was just lying. But yeah, it said it looked okay.
It looks good. It does look much crisper. That's good.
I mean, I can do that, and it's going to autofocus to my hand, and I come back, and it's like, oh look, autofocus. Whereas with my webcam, that would then, yeah, no, that was just not a possibility.
I think my autofocus is on my camera. I have my manual.
Ooh, controversial. It's not controversial at all. Scroll bar and formula box. Yeah, we've gone over that one. Page backup, local storage. Highlight for error in the formula box. These are like all the formula.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
highlight an error. Oh, please. Sorry.
Just highlight it red rather than go,
please.
Count to character 535.
Oh, please. I'd like to be. I'd actually like to have like a full.
I was getting right. This really drove me mad. I had all three of the biggest issues with Notion's formula in one go. Right? It said error. It was like it was like a syntax error thing, and you can't actually see the rest of it. So I had to try and find that. Once I'd found it, I corrected that, and do you know what it said? At character 1130 something, I can't remember what it was. You have an error. I was like, character 1130 something. Are you serious right now? I can't scroll that far because there's no scroll bar. So I had to sit there and count with the arrow key. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, did I do that? Fuck no. No, I did not. I just copied it, pasted it as a code block.
I would like to see being able to do proper code formatting inside of the formula box so that you can actually properly lay it out, be able to, if you use the if statements traditionally, being able to have the open bracket, close brackets, and like having indentation, that'd be really nice. I know you saw.
I don't code, so I don't really see that. I mean, I've tried to do the whole coding thing with a code block and then put that into Notion. That No, I'd much rather see it in it. I like the way formulas are currently made in Notion. Maybe because that's how I'm used to it. Because in Excel it's the same. In Excel it's just there's your thing. Go and write it. So I'm used to it, and I like that. But I want it to tell me where the error is rather than saying a frigging character.
Or at least text wrap it.
Yeah,
wrap the text. I mean, if you can't have like a proper code editor, then do text wrapping, for God's sake. You can do text wrapping in the code block in any cell. Why not in the formula flipping box? Probably because people don't expect idiots like us to create stupidly long formulas.
Maybe. Maybe. I'm thinking about setting it up in Notepad and then transforming it to the box. Well, I mean, you could write the formula in a Notepad, but still, I guess this comes back to how making the formulas. I make the formulas in sections and have them in properties to make sure the formulas work.
Yeah, that's how I work.
That's where the algebra comes in. That's where the algebra comes in for on the paper, because I just got like A, B, C, and then replace the sections with whatever's needed.
Yeah, I think it was you I found that first from, of like splitting the formula up. And that once I figured that out, that you could do that, which is a really obvious and simple thing, but like you don't think about it until it's actually there. Once that came, that was the transformation point of me going, okay, I can do this shit now.
Yeah.
I can do this now.
And then you see one of my formulas and you just print screen it because you can't be asked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is I've just had a very quick look. Formula rejects very quickly. Formula rejects, having them just keep the rejects functions would be nice, because you have to fiddle around with rejects so much, because for whatever reason, when you put a / command in, once you've accepted it and it calculates it then puts another / in. So if you go and edit the formula, you then have to redo all of the rejects. It's so stupid. That was
following on from that. Oh my God, following on from that. Adding extra brackets in the wrong flipping places. I have had, I don't know how long, a long period of trying to fix multiple times because Notion decided to put a bracket and close off the formula early. And then it breaks the sections of the formula that I had just created in separate sections.
Oh, it's brilliant. I love it.
And then I step away before I break my computer.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I don't come up with that issue anymore, but I used to. I think because I've had to troubleshoot that issue so many times, I can just avoid it in the first place.
Yeah, just by adding an extra bracket in. Yeah, I know. So can I, but I don't want to have to add an extra bracket in Notion.
Yeah. Right. So select and multi-select bulk color changes.
Oh. Yes.
So like I mentioned, I don't use a board view, but being able to just go into that menu and then why? The experiences this stuff with. I'm so glad I'm not the only one that experiences this stuff with formulas. Yes, why? What? Do you know what that was for?
I don't know. Maybe the bulk editing for the select. Lizzie, let us know what you were referencing.
Yeah. The select and multi-select auto colors, because when you automatically put a color in, it just assigns the color and you're just like, I don't want it that color. You can make the list as like a text property and then change the property from text to select, and then it auto gives it the default color.
Right.
Yeah, but then you'd have to manually go and change every single one of those colors. Click.
I spend so much time doing that for clients.
Yeah, just to be able to auto select them. Something else that I thought about was sorting them alphabetically, or like having the sorting ability in the tags, so you could sort the tags however you want.
Yes.
And this is something else that I think you may be like, okay, that's cool. If you could filter the drop-down menu for a relation property that's in that.
Yes.
Because if you could do that, then you can have a specific drop-down for a page that is dependent on another property that's in that page. So you could say this page has a relation to this dashboard. And then this dashboard has this drop-down list. You see how good that would be. And if you could have that filtering and sorting option with relations as well, so you could filter the amount of relations that pop up.
Yes.
Instead of having to search for it, you could just filter for the relations that are related, like
yes,
certain name contains whatever.
Yes.
You like those ideas, huh?
Yes. Just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit.
Where does Notion interfere? Why does Notion interfere sometimes with the brackets? Oh,
good bloody damn question.
it's mainly.
I might tweet Notion to find out.
It's for the back end. So when you type in
back end,
is the back end JavaScript the way the formulas work? I'm going to read through the comments before I answer this, and maybe someone's asked. Yucky Gray agreed. What is that? 196004204. Is that a phone number or a color? I don't know. Sort the filter menu. I guess you could sort the filter menu. Something else was being able to toggle on and off the filter. That'd be kind of cool. Rather than having to make a new view, you could toggle on and off the filters.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Jonathan's reach a level of happy that renders inside. I'm going to bring that up on the screen. Yup. Yeah, no one seems to have answered the bracket thing, but basically,
if anyone, the Notion enhancer people, if they can do any of these things, I will then put the Notion enhancer thing on. If you could do just some of these things, I will install that shit so fast. Anyway, carry on, Danny.
You're liking my ideas.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Yeah, so when it comes to the brackets, I know, Lizzie, you've asked something else that use Rollup dates and formulas to use in calendar, or did I miss this trick? I will go over that in a second because I ranted about that on the podcast. Yeah, so with the brackets and the formulas, essentially when you write in a formula and you don't put the brackets in, for example, if you're using an if statement and you use the question mark and then you use the colon to separate the different arguments, so you've got the question, first answer, second answer. If you then nest something inside of that if function, Notion on the back end thinks there are brackets around that if. So there's a bracket around the first bit and bracket around the end, but it's okay with you not putting them there. If you then nest an if function or anything inside of one of those arguments, Notion then still thinks it's all the same thing and it gets very confused. So it tries to bracket off bits, but what it'll do is it'll bracket everything off so it's all one formula. So instead of it being a nested formula inside another one, it just treats it as one formula. So brackets go in the wrong place. Well, wrong place for what we're looking at. So you have to put the brackets in first before nesting a formula. Otherwise, you're going to get brackets dumped in some silly places. Hopefully that made sense. If it didn't, then yeah.
If it didn't, don't worry. It's really nerdy and stupidly ridiculous. I'm surprised that sometimes Notion just don't come back to you particularly and just go, what? Why are you trying to do that?
That is a response I've got from a few of the engineers and developers from Notion.
Oh, bless them.
Well, the thing is, so from their end on the support thing with the question mark support, they don't know they know who we are, but they don't know who we are, if that makes sense. Like, so I'll send them a question and they'll say, can you send a video? So I'll send the video. And then I haven't had a conversation with the support team yet where they've just given me an answer. It's been we'll have to have a look at this, and then like a couple days later they'll come back and say, yeah, the bug you mentioned is a bug, or yeah, you can't do this in Notion, we don't know why, or we don't understand what you're trying to do, can you have a call? And then I sit there and explain for like half an hour what I'm trying to do, and they're like, oh right, yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll go talk to my engineers and developers, and then like the next Notion update comes out and the bug's fixed, and you're like, oh, okay. There was obviously a bug somewhere.
That only you seem to find.
Yes. Right. So let's go on with the yes toggling on and off filters. Exactly. That's good. So cool. So I plan ahead for my search menus using my tag database. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I think I'll do something similar, to be honest. So when is the formula video coming out? When is the formula video coming out? Did I mention a video?
Course.
I was going to say it's a course, and it's not going to be one video, because I'm going to go from you don't know what a formula is in Notion to this is how you automate tasks and projects via one roll update in a formula property. So I'm literally going from this is a formula box to this is three scrolls worth, if we could scroll, worth of a formula, and all the logic behind it. But yeah, so those videos are going to be fun to make. And those conversations are going to be great to have. When it comes to this question, actually, Jonathan, do you want to rant about this instead of me?
Oh no, you go. You just go.
You're going to let me lead?
Yeah, go for it. I think this is actually an episode of the podcast. I can't remember which one.
We could have just titled it Danny's Rant.
Well, maybe you should do that then.
That's your job. So, use roll updates in formulas to what? Okay. Use roll updates in formulas to use in calendar. Or did I miss this trick? When you use a roll-up of a date property for some stupid fucking reason, it displays as a string of text, not a date. So if you... Yeah, exactly. That was kind of painful in my ears. Sorry if you're using headphones. But yeah, for some stupid reason, it displays it as a text string. So what you have to do is you have to format the roll-up for latest date or earliest date, but then it doesn't give you the date, then it gives you like 3 months or 17 hours. You're like, that's not what I want. That's not what I asked for. And yeah, it's stupid. So it basically means you have to have a roll-up property, and you have to format it for latest date, earliest date, date range, or something like that for it to be formatted as a date property.
And it looks ridiculous.
Yes, it's so stupid. And then you can use that one in the calendar view. But when you're looking at it as a date property, you ain't got a fucking clue what the date is. 3 months ago. That could have been the beginning of the month, the end of the month, sometime in the middle of the month. Thanks, Notion. Yeah, it's so stupid. And so
didn't you confuse Notion with that question? Because I think both you and I posted it, and they were like, "What do you mean?" We're like, yeah. What do you mean? What do we mean?
what do you mean? What do we mean? Like, I've been bitching about this for like a month now. How do you not understand this thing? How is this not even surfaced yet? Right, I'm getting worked up. And the thing that drives me mad, right, is if you want to have 2 different dates from another database, you have to have a relation, 2 different roll-up properties to have 2 different dates. Then you need a formula for each of those, or have a formula that works with both of them to get the dates of each of them, and then combine that together. If you're doing that in a formula property, it doesn't work, because then you have the shitty timestamps.
I was about to go there next. I was about to just go timestamps and formulas.
Yeah, I'm going to read through the chat while I calm down a second. I forgot it's a course. Yeah, it's going to be a course. Literally, my head's going light from shouting.
And breathe.
Dates in stud calendar. For I've done nothing but rant on that. Yep. Jonathan is now disintegrating into madness. Note to self: never ask about Notion views, dates, and roll-ups. So using 2 roll-ups isn't unusual.
No, for some stupid reason, I just don't get why Notion thought that was a good idea to turn it into a text string. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense.
Lizzie, to answer your question, is it unusual to have multiple roll-ups? If you don't know how a roll-up works, it's not unusual. If you know how a roll-up works, you will need more than one. Because you'll understand the functionality of how useful it is. Good morning from down under. Good morning, Claudia. You
have come at a time where we're basically both having mental breakdowns over roll-ups and dates.
roll back like 3 minutes, and you've got Jonathan screaming into the mic, me hyperventilating from frustration. Oh yeah. So yeah, if you understand how roll-ups work and you know the use of them, then you suddenly go, oh shit, I need a roll-up like everywhere, and I need a roll-up for this, and now I need another roll-up because this roll-up doesn't actually show me what I need.
I've got a rant. I got one for
roll-ups. I need to finish off my rant about timestamps as usual. I
love
that.
No, as usual.
You know. You know.
No,
just like Marie put when she came on stream. Our people.
Yeah.
Our people. Right.
I have one more rant and then you can continue. Let me click the thing inside of the roll-up. If it is a page, let me go in the page. If it's an email, let me click the email. I am so sick and tired of wanting to just click an email to send a client an email inside of a project when I've got the roll-up or the meeting. And I can't. I have to go back into the client database to get the email from the client. And so help me, let me click the sodding roll-up. What is the point of it if I cannot use it? What's the point?
I'm with you, but something that's a little bit different that I would think is more useful as a roll-up, because you have the relation anyway. So you can already click through, but yeah, it'd be nice to go straight to it. Unique roll-up. Unique roll-up, I don't even know, like properties, data, just rather having like, oh, here's the list of all the fucking tasks you've done. Here's the 30 things that have the same name. Just show me at once.
Yes, and a filter inside of a roll-up so that you just see tasks that you haven't completed. Oh my god, yes.
Exactly. Like I feel like we're just like, can we just filter everything? Let me filter relation. Let me filter the sorting view. Let me filter the roll-ups. Just let me filter this shit out. I don't need all this information. Like, some of my databases have over 700 relations. Stop going through that list. I ain't touching that. If I've got 700 projects related to a dashboard, I ain't going through that relation properly. I ain't touching that thing. I use right. Before I go into the timestamp rant, because I know I'm going to lose my shit with that, I use a roll-up to view the
great how we can now swear on this channel because he doesn't care about monetization. It's great. It's like, oh wait.
Okay, Lizzie. I was going to say Lizzie use a roll-up. I use a roll-up to view the date. You view the date in date format and a roll-up to use the date to use in the date form. Yep.
So doesn't it, Claudia? You guys mentioned Dev's nightmare. Yes. Danny is.
I just on their end, they must be like, fuck, Danny's sent me another message. What has he found this time? What's he gone and broken? Yes, click the roll-up. Oh, something else actually before I'm keep pushing this back. Osman, good to see you. We're doing a bit of a rant right now with Notion features. Yeah, so someone put something in the feed, the Facebook feed. Someone basically said that we shouldn't be asking for new Notion features. We should be looking for the speed before we add features. And I understood it to an extent. But most of these features aren't going to make that much of a difference. And they said that they were struggling with what was it? They were struggling with the speed of the databases. And I said, I'm guessing that is your computer or your internet connection, because I have done some testing and I think Notion can handle most of it. And they said, well, when you have some formulas, relations, and rollups in your database.
No way did he just say that. Did they just say that? Sorry.
So I said, oh, okay, I have a database with 100,000 pages in, with 23 properties, 10 of which are relations, 5 of which are rollups, 5 of which are formula properties that expand the formula base. And it functions fine. So unless you've got a database that has more than 100,000 pages in, I think it may be your computer or your internet connection. But yeah.
Sorry, it was that if you start adding databases and you start putting formulas in, and then it becomes a problem. It's like you're talking to the guy who had.
Have you seen my fucking formulas? They're not this plus this. That sounded really big-headed, but yeah. It's like, do you know who you're talking to?
That is me.
But yeah. So, Roxana, good to see you.
We're having one hell of a rant.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one to go back on replay.
The stream started off quite calm and relaxed, and then we started getting into the nitty gritty, and now we've just descended into Notion.
Yeah, no shit. Notion. Determine how. What's that one? Determine how rows to view, then wrap the rest. If you have many tasks to begin with, it's probably really valid. Okay, yeah, that's fair. So with the timestamp thing.
Get the popcorn and the peanut butter.
No, scrap the PB. That's rubbish. It's
Why did you say? Why did you avoid?
I was going to say it's crap, but it doesn't make sense that peanut butter's crap. It just tastes like crap. And yes, I've had both. It was a dare.
Yes, you did come at the perfect time.
Okay. The date between formula is a fucking waste of time if you're using now. The date between formula has no function. No one gives a shit. If you put a start property and an end property for date, you have 2 date properties. Who is going to plan out with a start and end date? That's just stupid. So you put it in one, but if you put in one, you need a formula to look at the start and the end. Then the date between doesn't work properly because it adds one on because of the fucking timestamps. And then, even if you are going to use start and end, who even does that? You're going to use now. So you're going to use the now function. The now function has a timestamp in it, so it puts the date in. If you have the date in the now, then it's not going to show it with the date between. It's going to show 0 for today and 0 for tomorrow. But it's not 0 for tomorrow, is it? It's 1. It's the next day. It's tomorrow. So what you then have to do is you have to take off the hours, take off the minutes from now to get time 0 from now. It's so stupid. So you have to use 3 different functions to get now for it to work. Date between should do that naturally.
It's bloody Notioneer.
Sorry?
And the Notioneer does actually use the date, start date, and end date, just to say.
Oh yeah, I know, it makes sense. But most of the time, if you're going to use the date between, you're going to use the date between now.
Oh, you feeling better? You feeling better now?
Breathe, Danny. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
I did take a breath. I'm going to drink some water.
Okay. Welcome to this episode of Notion Nerds Counselling, where we rant about
I'm going to carry on, right?
Okay, it's not finished. Here we go.
Add date, subtract date is the same fucking problem, because if you're going to add date or subtract date from now, you still have the timestamps, and getting rid of timestamps is impossible unless you use the hours and minutes. But when you're using hours and minutes, you're going to expand the formula, and then you come with the same fucking issue with, oh, this formula is now 3 times as long because I've had to use hours and minutes in the now function for the date between or the date add or date subtract. But I can't use a scroll bar to go down. And if I can't use a scroll bar to go down, then I have to use fucking arrow keys. End of rant. Gail, what have you put? Hi, Roxana. In this live stream, Danny and Jonathan have reached the heights of happiness where there is only calm and quiet.
Oh yeah, we did do that, didn't we? That happened. That is something.
Oh yeah, true. Then the frustration depths with Danny steaming out of his ears, Jonathan squealing in outrage. It's been interesting. Yup.
And then you miss a bracket.
Yes.
Sorry.
Well, oh yes. I mean, I don't typically miss the brackets. What I end up doing is because I don't click on the property thing, because then I have 2 brackets and it's just stupid. I type everything out. If I mistype a function, like miss the E on date between, or I don't put a capital for the B in date between, or I don't put a capital A for the date add or whatever the function is, you're just like, what do you mean the function doesn't exist? Oh, sorry, it wasn't a capital.
Oh, no. And then another one, and then another one.
I use the date between because I'm telling to get the difference between the start and end date, but it has been a pain, so I'm trying to find another way. Yeah, it works. Don't get me wrong, and I use them as well. I use them as well, but it's like 4 times as long. It's 4 times as long. Go on, John. Say your thing. Thanks for the summary.
You work. I don't remember now. I've kind of lost my train of thought. Oh, and then when it comes to, you can actually just type the name of the property, and then it will add the property. But only half the time does it add all the code around it, and sometimes he's going again. So you start typing out the property name thinking that it's going to do the whole thing, and then sometimes it half does the name and then adds the property and then prop name, and I'm just like, fuck off, what is the point?
Okay, something that has been irritating me that I have to bring up. I don't know whether it's a bug. I don't know if it's deliberate, but it's a fucking pain in the ass. Ghost characters. Sod off.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something wrong with the formula. What's wrong with the formula? Oh, backspace. Why am I backspacing 10 characters away? What is going on? Oh, there's a ghost character in there. Where has that come from? All I did was copy and paste. So stupid. What do I do? Okay, let's come out with the formula. Oh, now it's just defaulted back to where I was, and you try and edit it. No, it's not going to edit. It's you backspace it at the end of the bracket. No, we're halfway in the middle of the fucking formula, getting rid of what you actually need. And then you copy it, and then you paste it. It's perfectly fine. You put it in another property. Perfectly fine. You put it back in the property. Doesn't fucking work because a ghost property is still in there. Sod off. Sod off with your ghost characters. And then you copy and paste something in, and you know what it does? It gets rid of the prop in front of the name of something for some stupid reason.
Yes. Oh god, yeah.
You copy it, you paste it in, it's all good. No, it's not. Notion's gone, you know what? Let's just get rid of the prop in front of the property and just turn it into a bracket of a name of something. That fucking doesn't make sense.
Just if any Notion developers are watching this,
we love you, really.
We do love you. It's just, yeah. The extra spaces there, and then that makes it even worse when you've got really long formulas.
Extra spaces. I can't use them. I can't use spaces. If I use spaces, I can't see half my formula.
Yeah.
I can't see half the formula anyway, but if I have to make my formulas as short and as small and as brief as I can, just so I can see them. I don't use if, 1, because of aesthetics of the formula, and 2, because of length. I
Oh, imagine if you used ifs in your recent formulas. Oh, God.
If, and, or, if. Properties involved in all of
Outside
those.
of ors, I find the ors and ands. I know how to use them properly, and that's fine. But I hate the fact I can't have multiple ors.
What do you mean?
Like where I can put or and just have one on one side, one on the other, and then add another or. I just want more abilities to have ands and ors, and multiple ands and multiple ors.
You can with brackets. But you need to put the brackets in the right place.
Yeah. It's just, well, yeah, you have to put and at the beginning and then bracket, but I want to be able to put this thing or this thing or this thing instead of having to put or this thing, and then another bracket and then another thing.
That's yeah, I guess that's a syntax thing.
Yeah, but it's a stupid one.
I don't know, I have to experiment with that. I don't typically have more than two things, like it's this and this, or this or this. I don't typically have many more than that because most of the questioning I do is going to be in the formula, like the formula part before that. So I don't have to do the ands and ors.
A nerdy notioneer, we use the question mark syntax with the codes.
It's just tough love. I'm going to bring that up on screen. It's tough love.
We do love you.
Notion, we love you. We really do. But in some ways, you're just awful.
That's mean.
If any user of the app says it's better, well, you are just wrong. For those people that have actually, I think everyone in here has used Notion a lot. But if you haven't used Notion a lot and you don't understand formulas, just forget what we're talking about. How are you getting around ifs with long formulas? Is this what you were talking about a second ago?
Yeah, the question you put the bit in before question mark. Is this? Then you put on the left hand side, if it's true, on the right hand side.
Share an empty page, and then just put like the syntax and code block.
Yeah,
I can keep you off stream. I can keep the thingy off stream while you make a safe page.
Yeah, okay. I'll make a safe page. You just keep stalling.
So, you know what? You know what I can do with stalling? I can rant some more. What else can I rant about when it comes to the formula box? Actually, but before I carry on ranting, because I don't want to like rant the whole time, is we're going to go through another feature that I think would be cool. No, that's a rantable topic. That's a rantable topic. Let's keep. There we go. Color of page titles. Oh, actually, no, this brings me on to a different point that I think actually might be interesting for you, John. Just sort of like listen in the background. So when it comes to moving things from linked databases, first thing, having the ability to name a linked database differently to its master database name.
That would be nice. That would be very, very nice.
It could be like done, and then you'd have like the linked database would have a separate name to the master database.
Yes.
So that'd be cool. The second thing is when you move the linked database and you turn that into a page, you can drag pages into that, and the filters of that would be put on the page, because at the moment you can do that with a database. If you have a database and you drag something into it and it's a database page, it's fine. If it's a linked database, it doesn't work. It just dumps it as a page at the bottom of the thing, and then you have to drag it back in, which is annoying. That's just functionality. But yeah. Is your screen safe to share? Do you want to talk about the names of databases at all, or should we just go into the space?
No, I'm just like, yes, I like the idea of being able to rename the database. Oh, it'd be so nice. Rename a link.
Titles on top of everything, then, because
because that's the big thing, is you want to have loads of titles and
No, Jim, there's no titles. I've brought you up.
Okay, so this is kind of the syntax. So you have kind of a question here. So whether this is, date is equal to now, don't get him started. Is it true? Then do something. Is it false?
Use a different example. Use a different example. I don't like date and now.
That's why I used it.
Yeah, so carry on.
So for example, let's say we have like not doing a very good job here, but it's fine. Prop status is equal to. I need to put spaces because if I don't, then I'll cry. Completed. If so, then you would tick it. If not, then it'd be not ticked. And what you can do is then you can kind of. That's really buggy me. Excuse me. There we go.
That's a boolean.
Boolean.
Is it?
But that's an example. A really simple example, like without us going really nerdy on it. We could go really nerdy.
And just to point out for those people, I'm going to get like formula nerdy right now. So for those of you that are doing formulas, if you want to make something smaller, you can do almost every single numerical calculation without using the add, the subtract, the mod. There is a syntax for it. So you can use plus, minus, divide. You can use the percentage for mod. You can say equals is 2 equals, not equals is exclamation mark equals. You could use greater than, smaller than, greater than or equal to. Trying to think of some other ones. You got most of those there. I think that is most of them. Oh, and something else is when you've got a list of things, you can use the, I don't even know, the line. I don't know what it is. What's it called?
Yeah.
You can use that to separate things inside a list instead of going this or this or this. You could just use a line and it just blocks those three.
Sorry.
Yeah. So when you've got like I hardly use it to be honest. But yeah, so when you've got a in the question marks of stuff, you can put the line in the middle to separate them. I've done an example in my examples page. I'll have to find one. But yeah, you can use that to separate them. It basically says or. It's just like an abbreviation for or.
I didn't know that one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think you can use it in the. I think I've used it in the test function. Test this or this or this is equal to that or something like that, or contains in a contains thing, something like that. I don't typically use that one that much, but yeah, that's a thing. With a linked database with different title, if you run a system-wide search, would those show as well, or just the master database?
No, they would show as well. What I would do. Do you want to put us both back on screen now?
Oh yes.
What I would do.
Wrong one. That way. There we go. For those that have just joined because it's early in the morning, see our lovely background. You probably just saw it a minute ago, but you can see it more now. Actually, yeah, I was going to take us off screen, but then we wouldn't be able to hear us. So yeah, we're running Notion nerds. Anyway.
I think you could very easily with what Claudia, do you want to put what Claudia set up on the screen so people can see it and read it when they're not. Thank you.
We were talking about it. Carry on.
See, we could very easily use something similar to what they do with. I would have the arrow still, so I would say that you could look for those different titled linked databases, but just have the arrow there. And then they click the arrow and it would take them to the master.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a link. I would still have everything. I would still have everything function the same way as it does now. It's just as a visual aesthetic difference, you could retitle it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you can already change the color of the name. Change the color of the name of a database, which for some reason someone put that as a feature, and I'm like, you already can change the color. So you can change the color of the database. You can't change the font of it, but then I mean that comes into, do you need to change the font? You can technically do it, but it doesn't work well with linking and stuff because inline maths and messing around with that, and that's just that can get hectic pretty quick, pretty fast. Going through all of these things on my wish list, most of them are formula related. There are so many things that are formula related or filter related. Yeah. Hide the table scroll. We've already got that one. Grouping by formula property in the board view is like
yes.
Drag page into I've explained that one. ID number.
Yeah, that'd be quite nice.
Having an ID number, whether that is a property in itself, like a date created type property, where it just, I don't know how it would work, but an ID number. I mean, that could tie in with the ability to reference using a formula, maybe look a VLOOKUP type formula where you can look through the pages in the database and just select one box.
I know what I'd like to see. This, I think I can explain it because I've been trying to figure out how to explain it all this time. This is one feature I want to see in like your self-referential filters. I would like to self-reference a roll-up. That would be nice.
What do you mean? Like you can self-reference a roll-up?
Well,
I'm assuming it's in a different way.
Yeah, kind of. I can't explain it in the best possible way, but there's sometimes where you want a self-referential filter for something else at the same time, if that makes sense, which it doesn't. There's something I can never remember it when I want to rant about it, but there is a
awful explanation, John.
I'm going to go find some information while you stall and try and remember what I'm actually trying to say. I'm just so like rant heavy right now.
Well, yeah, that's what we've been doing for the last, I don't know how long. Changing rant, empty all trash can, make font changes to page headers. Font changes to page headers. I mean, you can kind of do it with inline maths because you can put inline maths in a header, so you can change. You can change it, but
it's distracting.
That is going to be my point, but John kept interrupting. So, an empty all trash can. I don't use a trash can ever. Do you?
When I'm trying to find something, yes, but most of the time, no.
Yeah, I don't think.
I'm very sorry, I'm boring you.
Yeah, I don't think I've used a trash can once.
No, I went for a search in the trash can recently to try and find something, but I couldn't find it, and so just got impatient.
I mean, while we're ranting, why the fuck does it keep relations that you've got rid of?
Yes. Why? I'm going to press delete. I'm going to press delete. And guess what? You're still going to keep all the relations. And then if you click in that relation, it's still going to be there. But it's not going to be there because it's not there because it's just a red bar that says it's deleted permanently. But it is still there and it's not there though.
When you change something in one of the properties and it gets rid of the filter everywhere else.
That is only, I think that might be a recent bug.
It's not. It's happened for ages. I just don't use tags that much because it's been a complaint and people moan about it.
I've got a filtered rant thing. When you add a new view or you copy a view, and then if you change it to be a similar, so say you got a list and then you create another list. I have experienced that when you switch to that list, the filters disappear, which is, I suppose, okay. I don't like it. But also, it will delete the original filters on that, if on the same property. I've had that happen to me. On the original, database. Yeah, well, you don't use multiple views. You've never used multiple views, not really. But like multiple, I've had so say, for example, I've got a list view, which has a set of filters. I've switched to another list view. I've created another list view. It blanks the filters. When I switch back to my original list view, sometimes it gets rid of the filter. And I am just like,
that must be a bug.
And it does my, also filters. Please let me reorganize the filters, like drag and drop.
I was about to say that. Yeah. Every time I put
you used to have it.
I need to add this filter in. Oh wait, I've got to get rid of all the fucking filters to add it in because I need it first.
What's worse is they used to have that before they added nested filters, which thank you, Notion, for adding nested filters.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually said, when it first, can we have the ability to rearrange the filters back? They went, no. I'm like,
but
what do you mean, no?
Something that would be quite nice with the advanced filters is I find myself a lot of times when I have filters in a database, I may have 3, may have 4, and then I decide, actually, I want to add something else. But I want to add the current 3 or 4 into a group so I can add the one else, but I can't just do that.
What Claudia has just said, the copy view option has never worked. Yes. Me neither.
When you're talking about things that never work, Control-0. Control-0 should turn something to text. It doesn't.
I know.
And
I don't get pages. The stupid page shortcut that you go on about is so amazing. And that bloody works for me.
What, Control-Shift-9?
Yeah. No, Control-Shift-9. It's like, come on, page. Turn it to a page. Oh, fuck it. By the time I had finished that, I would have just been able to go on /page and then type the title.
So I type the title, Control-Shift-9, and then I'm in the page.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't bloody work half the time for me.
It works fine for me. Control-0 has never worked, not once.
No.
Every single shortcut works except from Control-Shift-0. I'm just like, please give it to me. Do you use the slash shortcut things at the end of something when you want to change the color? Do you use like /orange or /blue?
No, I just use Control / and then type the color.
Same.
That's what I use. I've never done / I know you have it and it's kind of cool, but I've never used it ever. It's quicker just to do.
This is
Control / orange done.
It's not necessarily a rant, but it's something that I see that's mildly irritating. When I see, I mean, this is coming down like a content thing again. Watching videos, a lot of the videos that I see, I mean, this is titling, the ultimate this or the best that, and I'm like, is it really? And then the quickest way. As soon as I see the quickest with Notion, I'm like, okay, let me see how quick this is. And they use like / something, and then they like arrow key down and enter, and I'm like, how's that fast? How is that fast? And they're actually typing out like the whole name of the thing. Create a table /TA enter. You don't have to type out table and then go down and then enter. It's just /TA enter. Sorted. And you're just like,
can people still do that?
Huh?
Do people still type out the whole thing and use the arrow key? Really?
On videos explaining how to use Notion quickly. I watched a video, I think it was yesterday or the day before. Quick shortcuts in Notion / type out table, arrow key twice down to hit the inline table, not page table, enter. Why would I do that? How is that quick? I put in the comments, well, you could do this and you could do this for like.
Well, you just don't understand Notion, Danny. That's the thing.
Yeah, I need to watch a 13-minute video explaining how to put a fucking banner on a page.
You are having a rant today.
You've let me loose with swearing, okay?
All the dislikes on this video are going to be because of you.
Yeah, people are like, this guy is an idiot. He's just mean. Probably. But honestly, you either love me or you hate me. There's nothing in the middle.
He's like Marmite or peanut butter.
I was about to say,
actually nice.
I'm like, peanut butter is disgusting. Or rearrange filter columns inside the filter menus. Sometimes I have to scroll all the yeah. Actually, I've actually got rid of the big long filter that I had in my daily thingy because I don't need the roll up anymore.
Yeah.
So I've got rid of that massive long list of all the relations for the filter.
Claudia, this is a good time to rant. I like that question. The Notion song. He's still here. So we're gonna have to have discussions.
How do you feel about the Notion song? Yeah, I saw that one. Really? I use /. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm with. Yeah, so I'm going to bring up this one. I was trying to understand what a nerdy Notion would put, but yeah. Most importantly, how do you guys feel about the Notion song?
I don't like it. It's rubbish. I'm not in it.
You're not in it?
No.
I know
No.
my name is mentioned.
No, I'm not in it. Homesick Mac. I'm disappointed.
Maybe you were mentioned next to me, because for me it was really quick. Really quick, like, overview, and there was a name with me, but it might have been you. I don't know.
Was it me? It might have been me. If it was me, I completely. By the way, if Homesick Mac is still watching, I am completely teasing. I honestly don't mind. It's a brilliant song. It was funny. It was good fun. I really enjoyed it. But still, why
There's
am I
some
not?
names on there that are.
Oh, T, you've started. Go for it. You want to start spilling tea? Go for it.
Oh no, I'm good friends with everyone.
Claudia, I am just being silly. I do like the Notion song. It is it is really funny. It is really good, and he is a brilliant musician. He's a brilliant guitarist.
And we got a teaser of that on stream as well.
We did. Yes, it was Muralai. Yes, it was about Formula people, and it was him and you. So my rant still stands. I expect a reprise where like a whole section's about me.
I didn't get a section, so Marie got a section, August got a section, other people got sections that I could not necessarily question their Notion skills, but I don't know whether I know they use Notion a lot. Like, there are, you know what, I'm just gonna say, Ali uses Notion a lot, but I haven't seen his space, so I can't comment too much. But the resident calendar, bin it. Like, bin it, unless you're going to do something with it. And his board view of his content, I don't like a board view anyway, so I'm biased. But why would you have all of your ideas in one thing?
I thought he used Rome. Personally, I thought Ali now used Rome. I think he uses both. I think. I'm not sure. I don't.
I remember him talking about on stream, his, I think it was like content machine is what he called it, in Notion, where he works with his team. That's because you swear, Danny. What's because I swear? What, because people don't like me because I swear? Potentially.
It's the first time he's ever sworn properly on
stream, yeah. Well, on a public stream.
Yeah, privately, it's just like
privately, yeah. Swearing is conveying emotional passion. Yeah.
You are full of shit. Danny, you are full of shit.
Of course I am. Why do you think I'm a YouTuber?
Wow. Wow.
Every YouTuber has an opinion, and everyone disagrees with something that's, well, actually, not every YouTuber, everyone that's got any sort of audience on any social media platform, really, which is the majority of people, have an opinion that people don't agree with. Ali did a video using Rome and Notion together. Yeah, I want to talk to Nat, because I think Nat's going to be the most appropriate person to talk to Rome about, because I've seen. Why are you wincing? Like, I've seen August use Rome and Notion, but I don't see where Rome's power is in that setup. And
I feel you have to be one or the other. You can't double. You can't double
in
dip. My experience, yeah, I was just not going to say that. You did, so it's fine. Like.
Now he's insulting all YouTubers. I'm just insulting people in general, really. Just everyone in general, really. But
so Danny loses a lot of subscribers now on his channel. You know why?
Yeah, I've been losing subscribers anyway from the live streams. So That's what live streams do. When they meet you, they go, "I don't like that person. I'm just going to unsubscribe." But I mean, you get what I'm saying, right? I'm not just being a dick. Or am I just being a dick?
No, I think in terms of like the people who use Notion and Roam together, I don't personally. I don't see the point. Because I think they are very, very different tools and they work. Yeah, I don't know.
I think he has too many tools. Because I know he uses a lot, whether it's he recognizes a specific app or trend or something is useful, so he wants to do it, or he wants to do a video with more than just one app so he can hit a bigger audience, i.e. the 10 most productive app type things. And he uses lots of different apps to get experience over different platforms. So you can put more in videos because that makes sense from a marketing standpoint on YouTube. Having 10 apps, you have 10 potential audiences that are going to watch that and anyone else. But when it comes to actual workflows, this is why we use things like Roam or Notion, because we want an all-in-one app.
I don't think Roam's an all-in-one app.
No, neither do I. Which is why
Roam is not an all-in-one. I don't think even Roam markets itself as an all-in-one app.
It's for research.
It's research. It's content curation more than content creation. I feel that's where its power is being able to bring together pieces of content. Like Roam has a beautiful idea, but on its own, it's not enough. That's my personal opinion. And unless you use Roam 24/7 and you use it a specific way, it doesn't have the that Notion do.
Yeah, so something that's interesting is, like, I know Nat is a big Roam user, but he also uses Notion.
I don't think he does.
Well, he did last video.
He uses it for a wiki.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you could use Roam for. But something that's actually interesting thinking about it is that one of the biggest reasons I don't use Roam is because I use a calendar so much, and there isn't a calendar in Roam. And the free flow of the page is another reason. But going back to what we were talking about with Red, most people like the table view for some reason, or the list view, which you kind of have in the queries of Roam. So maybe the people that don't use the calendar are more likely to go over to Roam. I mean, I don't. Like I say, I won't. But
I don't think so, because I think Roam is a different audience completely. I know that Roam and Notion have this stupid nonsense thing against each other, but I personally don't have a problem with Roam, and I think it's a brilliant idea, but it's just not for me. And I think for people who do a lot of research, Roam research, aren't you smart? Like for people who do a lot of research or like to collate information and make connections and things like that, that is when Roam research does sort of. No, you could still duplicate it in Notion if you really wanted to, and
try to.
You can replicate a lot of one thing you cannot replicate. One thing you cannot replicate. Let me just make this perfectly clear: is Roam's backlinking, because Notion's backlinking is just shit.
Claudia's comment has got me intrigued. Since the Building a Second Brain, for those that don't know, course, he wants to become the Notion guy. I can't see that happening anytime soon. So, Claudia, if you were on the Second Brain cohort, because I only know what was public, I didn't see anything that made him think he was the Notion guy. Or maybe that's just a way of.
I might go pop in. I am actually. I do have that course, so I would have been part of this cohort.
Oh, okay, so you can actually have a look. Yeah, I haven't done the course, and I haven't very little intention of doing the course, to be honest. He could. I think what Ali and Thomas both have are platforms. Thomas Frank and Ali both have platforms. From what I've seen, Thomas Frank knows Notion way better than Ali.
Yeah, definitely. He's not. He can hold his own.
Yeah, Thomas Frank knows Notion. There are some small things that it doesn't, but I mean, you don't need to. Not everyone knows everything about Notion. But yeah, Thomas Frank definitely understands Notion better than Ali. I don't see. I mean, I guess Ali could go that way. I think because of a lot of Notion's users are students, his audience is students. And I guess that's similar with Thomas as well. Like his audience is students. My audience is certainly not students, and if they are students, they're mature students because the majority of my audience are 25 plus. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of my audience are mature students or not. They're in business, which is why some of my content is going to go towards things like the processes behind content creation or business management or whatever, because essentially that's what Notion is. Notion is a way to manage the systems that you've done, the systems behind the creator essentially, or systems behind the entrepreneur or business person, whatever. So understanding, for me anyway, the creator side of it and the systems behind it, that their audience is students, which is, I don't know whether that's Notion's target audience. I don't really know what Notion's target audience is. Is it students? Is it businesses? Is it?
It doesn't really have a target audience.
No, it's sort of a bit of everything. I don't know. Is it a note-taking app? Is it a task management app? Is it a project management app? Because
it's an all-in-one workspace.
Well, yeah, but it can't focus on everything at once. Like at the moment, obviously, the backlinks, that's focused on note-taking. With the side panel thing that they spoke about, that's also note-taking. Made a few comments during his mentor sessions. Okay. Interesting. I know he's doing the YouTube course. He's making a YouTube course for beginners on YouTube. But that would, again, that would divert.
No. There are mentor sessions inside of the cohort, the Buddy Secretary cohort. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. What I was saying was, obviously, on YouTube, he is a student YouTuber, kind of turned vlogger, because that's where he seems to be going, vlogging his life as a doctor, student, person. But he's made a YouTube course. So does that mean he's going to make a Notion course as well? Or is the Notion bit going to be inside the YouTube course? I haven't paid that much attention to it, I'm not going to lie. I just know it's a thing. So would he have a Notion module managing YouTube through Notion? Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, okay, that's interesting. I think the big difference between Thomas and Ali is that he has a system and Ali uses the app for the sake of using it. Well, it's perception. I think Ali has uses for it, but from a lot of the videos I've seen with him talking with Francesco, with him showing his space, he has note-taking, which you can do on most. I mean, you could use Word for note-taking. He doesn't use many of the Notion's. Yeah, he doesn't use many of Notion's functions.
Take that back.
You could.
Take it back now.
You could use a notepad for note-taking.
Yes, you can. I have a notepad for note-taking, but Word? Shut up.
You could. I didn't say you should. I said you could. But what I was saying is, like, he uses Notion for note-taking, but he doesn't use many of, or from what I've seen, doesn't use many of the Notion-specific features or functions that separate Notion from other applications. So yes, he uses Notion, but I wouldn't say he uses a lot of the abilities of Notion from what I've seen. Which is why I think the transition from Notion to Roam or Roam to Notion is quite simple for his space. Would that work?
Yeah. Yeah, I think. Yeah, well, Homesick Mac, I'm sorry, that's not acceptable. There should have been at least one line about me in there. I expect a reprieve on my desk by Monday morning. No, I'm joking. It was a really good song, Homesick Mac. I enjoyed it. I was bobbing along to it. It was very good.
You were going to say something.
I've forgotten now.
You're useless.
Probably why I didn't even get a sentence in the song, because I'm like, no, I'm joking.
They were talking about we were talking about Thomas Frank and Ali as a system, perception, content put out there.
I don't really have a comment. I know it's really boring and not very dramatic, but I think it's just different strokes for different folks, isn't it? You know.
I think I think Thomas has successfully bridged to a bigger audience with his channel while having already expanded his interests and video topics, while Alan has just recently finished his. Yeah. They're definitely at different stages of the journey. I think I don't know whether it's the style of video, because Thomas Frank is obviously a very not necessarily cinematic, because you could look at Matt Diavella, that is cinematic, but Thomas's video quality is way up there. So way up there. All the editing, I mean, the cameras he uses are extremely expensive. Extremely expensive. And Ali is, I would still class, from the content he puts out, I would still class it as vlog content rather than, I mean, I guess it's like vloggy educational maybe. Whereas Thomas Frank it's still in the educational. It's not vloggy. You still have Thomas's personality in there, but it's not I took a dump at this time in the morning, and then I had a shower. Or I had a poo at 7:30. Then I had breakfast and made cereal. It's not like the vloggy style videos. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely trying to find his way, transition to a different audience. It'd be interesting to see what audience he picks, because with the course, it looks like he's taking the same approach as Tiago with the cohort thing. And if he's going to do that, I would imagine he's going to have another cohort next year, which means he's going to sort of put himself in the YouTube coach area, which would line him up with people like Darryl Eves, Roberto Blake, Nick Nimmin, Brian G. Johnson, video creators, Tim Schmoyer, all of those people. He's essentially moving into their competitive niche. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, exactly. Which is why when I saw the course, I was thinking, I'm not sure how that's going to transition work. Obviously, he's got an audience. It's going to work. And putting the principles across. But like John and I have spoken off stream, there are things that Ali does that smaller YouTube creators I don't think could get away with, and depending on how he approaches it in his course, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, he may be following a lot of the other niche creators like Nico at Morning Fame, or what's his name, Matt at Little Media Co.
This is a great Notion stream, guys, isn't it? It's great.
Well, we did do a lot of.
You've literally spent the last 20 minutes bitching about Ali.
Fine, take over. What are we talking about, Notion? Well, I've been answering the questions in the comment, and that's where the topic of conversation went. See, look, a nerdy Notioneer who's just brought Instagram in. Are we going to leave Instagram because Notion's not on Instagram?
No, we're fine. We're fine. I was just
really good stream. Yeah, shut up, John.
Fine. I'll stay tight. It's fine. No, it's fine.
No, John, you can talk now, because I've been speaking for the last 20 minutes. Jonathan, you child. Don't be bitter, John. Don't be bitter, John. I'm going to leave you up on the stream. It's just because he doesn't make YouTube videos. To be fair, though, what I'm going to say is I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, because we've been working on this channel together, sort of. So I'm going to class all of these videos sort of as yours. I will give you a quarter. I'll give you a quarter, your VA a quarter, and me a half. Because it would be split half and half.
You can fuck off, you're getting half. You show up, you just watch through the streams, which you like listening to yourself, adding the timestamps, and then bugger off.
You can do the SEO for the next ones then.
Nope. Okay, you do this SEO too, but
you could do the keyword research for the next one then.
No. You
can do the tags for the next one then.
No. And you don't do the tags. The tags are already done for us. They're automatically done.
Because you added them in. Video tags.
All right.
For the video tags, I've got to do them. I've got to find them. I've got to work out which ones work, which ones don't, and match those to the keywords. Exactly. For me, Notion, I'm bringing this one up. For me, Notion is closest to all-in-one space. Agreed. Now, when there are, excuse me, so many task management templates available for Notion, I can finally let Todoist go. Ooh. That's a change. That is a big change. I know a lot of Todoist users have been using it for a while. And actually, because I know you love the topic of conversation, John, there was a Todoist video that recently went up on another channel that we're not going to mention, and you really liked what the individual said about Notion, about how complicated Notion is, and how Todoist is actually a better option.
No, don't get me started on that shit. Do not even get me started on that.
Well, Todoist is better for task and project management than Notion.
No, it is not. Well, actually, it's a 50. His dissing of Notion, really, he missed the. And most of the people here will probably know who I'm talking about, so I don't need to spell it out. But Notion can be as complicated or as simple as you make it. Shut up. Like it's I think the excuse of it's just so complicated. Yes, but it gives you the full freedom to create exactly like you were instead of being stuck inside of a box. If you just want something, thank you, Claudia. I wanted to punch the screen. Well, yes, so did I. I literally slammed the lid of my MacBook down and stormed off. My son came to me and said, "You all right, Daddy?" I'm like, "Yes, darling."
This Notion.
No, I am not a Notion. Like, I know that there are other apps that are good. ClickUp is an option if you don't like. ClickUp is an option. I'm not going to sit here and say Notion is the best for everyone. I just saw your face. But like, if you don't want to have customizability, don't use Notion. Simple. If you don't want to have flexibility and freedom to run your business or run your life exactly how you want, don't use Notion. Go and use some other stupid thing, and that will help you keep productive. Did you see what I did there? Did you like what I did there? Did you like what I did there, Daddy? Gail, if you listen very carefully to what I just said, you'll know the channel we're talking about. But Todoist, Claudia, Todoist, Tomatoes to Manage a Notion, all-in-one workspace. End of discussion.
I wouldn't even say Todoist is better at task management because I don't really know I don't know enough about Todoist to comment. And this is something for me that I take. This is something for me that I take when I'm commenting about other applications. With Roam, I didn't comment about Roam because I didn't know enough about Roam. Now I've experimented with Roam and I've spent 30 plus hours in it, I can comment about it. Same with ClickUp. I can't comment enough about Todoist. What pisses me off is when people say Notion's bad because of this, or Notion can't do that, or Notion's this. And I'm like, you obviously haven't explored Notion enough to be able to comment. So either say and put a disclaimer, I don't know Notion, or I don't understand Notion, and then share your opinion, or just don't give your opinion. Sorry, carry on.
And exactly what your point is. I have used Todoist.
Okay.
It was the app I used previously before I went to Notion. And yes, Todoist is nice and pretty and simple and blah and boring, and I hate it because Notion gives me the flexibility that I need for my business. I ain't seen Todoist being able to do projects.
They've added boards.
Oh, have they? I wonder I wonder where they got that from. Did they get that from Notion by any chance? Oh, you know the app that's too fucking complicated. Anyway. Oh, no.
The thing that makes me laugh, I mean, this may be because I'm biased because I've been using Notion for so long, but when I see apps and they do updates and people are like, oh, we're adding tables to this, we're adding calendars to this, we're adding lists to this, we're adding boards to this, I'm thinking, Notion has all of those things already. Have you just gone, oh, Notion's got that thing, let's put that in there? I mean, don't get me wrong, Notion's done the same thing with backlinks. Notion have pretty much just gone, oh, let's put backlinks.
It's an awful implementation.
Yes. Agreed. And I imagine all the apps will be doing something similar. Notion will probably be taking views and things and apps and integrations and the rest of it from other things.
We're going back. Gail's just said something. It wasn't necessarily mad. It was just like, you're joking, right? Like, you don't know what you're talking about, frankly. And it was very clear that he didn't know what he was talking about. I find it very hard when people don't know what they're like, make these big, bold, sweeping statements when they don't know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm. It's very true.
And that bugs me. And he made a very big, sweeping statement about Notion. And you can tell he's not tried to use it. Because Notion, on its surface, pardon me, is relatively simple. You can then cut into that and make it more complicated.
Just tad.
What?
You can make it just a tad more complicated.
Yeah.
My workflow includes Todoist and Notion, and I was hesitant to move all in Notion. Tell you what, after watching how much attitude he was giving away for free, leaving Todoist this week. I don't know if you guys have seen this video. This video has done fairly well because of the controversy it was given. But there was a guy on YouTube about a month, maybe 2 months ago, that liked TickTick for everything. And yeah, that application that I think is only on Mac or Apple or whatever. But yeah, and he basically dissed Notion and said you can't do task management in Notion. You can't do project management in Notion. And it's very restrictive with note-taking. I have an app called TubeBuddy that's installed, and it tells me the ratio of likes to dislikes on a video. Before I clicked on the video, it was like a 13% like ratio, which is really, really bad. It was literally like 70 dislikes for 3 likes, something like that. It was so bad. And that was with like 3,000 views. And I know it got more traction after that. But basically, he spent 10 minutes dissing Notion, saying Notion can't do these things. And he didn't even go into any view other than
it's him. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. That one. I had to be...
goes, oh, yeah, and I've got a course on this app. The app costs money to have the app. You also have to cost money to get a course to understand the app, which he's selling, by the way. And it also doesn't do everything that Notion can do. He just didn't know it. Breathe. Yeah. You know what video I'm talking about now, don't you?
Everybody knows what video we're talking about. As soon as I made the keep productive comment. But I can respect people who...
Then.
Yeah, I do, yeah. I can respect other people and their workflows. I, in fact, really do support that. Notion isn't for everybody. But don't make incendiary remarks, which is why you'll never catch me making incendiary remarks against Rem Research. Because Rem Research is good for what it needs to be. Asana, on the other hand, we won't even go there. Because Asana is rubbish. But even then, for some people, it's very simple. I don't like Asana, but that's beside the point. Like, anyway. I'm just getting angry now.
I haven't explored Asana at all. I haven't even opened up the app once. Is there a free version of Asana?
Yes.
Okay.
You're going to hate it. You will not be able to do anything that you normally do.
Well, I will be exploring that in a members live stream at some point. I don't know when yet. But yeah, I'll be exploring that in a members live stream, having a look into that. But the thing is, I know quite a few, well, I don't know personally, but I know of quite a few big business owners, individuals, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs and stuff, and they use Asana. Like, I don't want to name anyone, but there is a specific team of 4 that I know about. One of them is a YouTuber. The other 3 are the team behind the YouTuber. And the project manager of the team uses Asana. And they have a 7-figure business. They manage multiple platforms. So it obviously works for them.
Yes, I have to be fair, because otherwise I'm no better than Mr.
Whatever his name.
Whatever
To
his
do
name
a
is.
CEO.
I don't remember his name. That's not important. No, I'm just being a dick now. Like, I have to give credit. Asana
I was doing that earlier.
So yes, you were. Flipping hell. Asana has a unique like perspective and way of working, and if that way works for you, then beautiful, fantastic, go for it. Knock yourself out with it. But if you're feeling uncomfortable with those apps, and the problem is that the vast majority of people that I personally speak to, from my perspective, can't use those tools because they're so restrictive, and yeah, Claudia's just come in and they're in a box. It's not rubbish, and you are very much correct, Claudia. I am being antagonizing for the sake of, I'm not really being antagonizing, but I am like saying it's rubbish because it's rubbish for me. Like it is a good project manager.
The second part of what she said.
For the non-techie savvy, it's a good project manager.
For the non-techie savvy, well, I agree, but I think the world that we live in, you need to have some tech savvy.
Mm.
You look at where social media has come in the last 10 years. You look at where applications have come in the last 10 years. You look at where software and hardware has come in the last 10 years. You expect the next 10 years, people won't need to understand tech to some extent. You got 6-year-olds that can code games, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, just to go background to the Asana thing, because there is a good point. It does have a use. It is very simple, very minimal. It is very fast to get set up, whereas Notion is not fast to get set up when you first start. It's just not. It's not, and it's never done. Whereas with Asana, you get your lot. If it works, brilliant, like fucking brilliant. But if it doesn't, it's a pain. if it doesn't, if the lack of flexibility is its weakest point, and the fact that they lock really key features behind a paywall as well. I look forward to your opinion on Asana.
I was going to say for Gail to let that in, do you want to share your opinion on the last couple of like member streams? Because obviously I can talk about me, but I don't know what it's like from a viewer's perspective. So I will be doing my experience of Asana. Thanks. My experience of Asana will be like a member stream because I'm membered on my channel. So you can either become a Patreon or join the members thing that's on my channel. And then you can go in the Facebook group and see all the unlisted stuff. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the streams? Are they useful? This is a bit of feedback for me as well, actually. How do you find them?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Sharing your opinion on what you think about the stream with the couple of streams I've done with ClickUp.
I think they are good. They are useful to see like the back end of how you think. It's a good. They are good. He just wants this as an advertisement. This is what he's doing now. It's just
no. I mean, this is genuine feedback. If you think they're shit, tell me they're shit.
No, I don't think they're shit. No.
Oh, cool. That's nice. This should be used for File Explorer. I realised that we're coming up to 3 hours, so we may have to shut this down soon. Otherwise, no one's going to get to sleep. Well, some people have just woken up, so no should be used as a File Explorer. Everything. Yes, agreed. Yes, Danny, I 100% agree with you. I'm going to bring this up just because she says I agree with me. She agrees with me. I'm bringing it up. But you can't impose that on everyone. A lot of business need some time to transition. Very true. And I find Asana
Yes.
is entry point
Yeah.
for companies. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's true. I mean, the transition is I guess it comes down to how much time you're willing to put into it and what your return on investment is with it. Now we can keep going. I don't mind. You might not mind, but it's closing in on 10 o'clock. Yeah, so when it comes to transitioning, I transitioned all of my projects from Notion over to ClickUp and had it all sorted in 2 hours. So that was quick. It was fine, simple. And then working through a system. My system's never finished anyway. So that's always going to be a work in progress. But I could function through ClickUp after a 2 hours transition. So if you understand your workflow well enough and you understand the application you're moving to well enough, it's not that much of a jump. What is a jump is if you don't understand your workflow, you don't understand the system behind what you're doing, and you don't understand the app that you're moving to. So maybe the upfront education that you need to understand the app that you're moving to is needed, but then you wouldn't be moving to an app if you didn't know why you were moving there in the first place.
I think the problem is that often people are trying to solve a problem that cannot be solved with an app, which is a lack of being able to have workflows and things. If you don't have your workflows, no app will save you. Whether it be Notion, whether it be Roam, whether it be Asana, whether it be Trello, whether it be ClickUp, whether it be Todoist. You know, it just.
You're inventing your own app now.
Yeah, I am. It doesn't matter what app you use; it's the workflows that you have. And if an app doesn't support your workflows, it's not. Oh, this is a good question. I wouldn't choose. Well, I would want to see their workflows first. If you had to choose an app other than Notion to help a client or friend get more tech savvy with the idea of getting them on Notion eventually, which one would you pick? I wouldn't. I'd pick Notion. Like, if they're going to go to Notion, I would put them on Notion from the beginning. Purely because of the flexibility of Notion, and the Notion space can grow with them. For example, there was a good stream that I did with Francesco, where he had a very simple setup with no databases, and he went from that to a more advanced system, which was closer to my system. And that's the transition you can do with Notion. Whereas with Todoist and ClickUp and Trello and all the other apps, you are in a box.
Asana, Airtable, Coda.
Asana, yeah, blah, 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 etc. All the other apps, you have to be in a box.
Taskade.
Stack B. I don't know.
Oh, I was about to say that.
I know you were. Like, with all the other apps, you're in a box. With Notion, you make the box.
Workflowy, is that another one?
Yeah. Work on the system first and then the tool. Yes.
Exactly.
And for most people, I find that when they work in Notion, they really do kind of get their systems in place smoother, even if they end up using another app because it's too complex for them, which
So something that I just thought about is, so I've mentioned in my member streams, because we're using StreamYard, we can basically bring anyone in that we want. And in my members streams, I'm going to put a link in my members group for people to join so they can have a conversation with me on stream whilst we're talking about stuff, rather than just being in chat all of the time. I'm curious. I mean, I'm sort of brainstorming with obviously the guys still in chat and you. Do you reckon we could have a link sent out to some people if they want to come on stream and just sort of like chit chat and talk? Because obviously we can have guests come in. No, we've got guests coming in anyway that show their stuff. But if someone at some point suddenly goes, oh, I really want to talk about this thing for some reason, we could have a link and then they join and then we just bring them in and then throw them back out again.
That was random.
I know. But what do you think?
Yeah, I like it. It's good.
I mean,
as long as Homesick Mac.
Like
I mean, Homesick Mac, you can come back in right now and create a verse about yours truly, if you like.
No, not right now, because we need to go to sleep at some point.
Just as a point to end on the app discussion, Notion rules. No, Notion gives you the flexibility when you're starting up. I feel it is one of the stronger apps for project management because it really does help you build your tools.
If you're going to end up in Notion, start with Notion. That way you learn your way through. For some, though, they're just becoming aware
Put it
that
up.
Sorry?
Put it up on the screen.
I was reading through it to see if it needed to go up on stream, because otherwise I'm literally just putting up the whole chat on stream. Just have the stream rolling at the bottom or to the side or something. Or just square sheen. That's a sign we need to stop streaming.
Yeah, it's a little bit, isn't it?
It's a very dysfunctional one. So they find a tool and think the tool is a system. Yeah. Exactly.
And that's really the problem when it comes to tools like Asana and Trello and ClickUp and all of them, including Notion, I suppose.
I'm organized now. You're still not getting stuff done. Yeah, but I've got a system. You mean you've got an app? Yeah. Right. So I think that is a good place to end. So hopefully everyone has enjoyed it. Make sure that you share it. So if people do ask where we're streaming, it's on this channel, not my channel. Keep them away from my channel. We'll probably share links and share links and stuff. The podcast episode, John, do you want to share where the podcast is and what's going on with that one?
What?
When podcast goes live, because is it Saturday morning, afternoon?
It's yes, it goes every. I'm just going to look. You can go to notionnerds.com to access the podcast, and we are pretty much everywhere now. We're on Spotify. I think we're on Breaker. Okay, Player FM, Stitcher. I bloody know. We're on Stitcher now. I know we're on Stitcher. Because I saw that, and I don't know what episode we've got next. They go live on a Saturday. You're very welcome, Gail.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. We're all right.
You are also a Notion nerd, Gail.
Yeah.
Found it on Spotify. Yeah, cool.
And if you do enjoy it, please do leave a review and all that. Hi, yeah, I got you there. Yeah. Please do leave a review. It really does help us go up. Because honestly, if people aren't enjoying it, we're just going to stop doing it. That's the real thing. We're testing this just as an idea. These streams will never stop, but the podcasts will if people don't enjoy them, and then we don't get reasonably solid feedback and constant. We will just stop doing them because.
You know what we'll have to do?
What?
We'll have to set some OKPs and RVZs and stuff for whether we're going to keep them or not.
And in about 4 weeks' time, that joke would make sense.
KPIs and OKRs. Right. And on that note, we will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.